In your house with Alacon. Hey, Alacon in your house. Hollywood in your house. Hypocrisy's head in the clouds. Curating all kind of loud. Wrestling in front of the crowds. Paragon's holding it down. Anybody can get it. Josh Joseph standing on his decisions. He is the voice. There is no choice. We as them boys in your house making wrestling noise. Moving fast just like cruiserweight action. In your house is the perfect distraction. Pumpers in your ears when you in traction. Get this work with some wrestling action. Smoke. What is up, guys? What's cracking? It's the Con Man, and I am in your house. And you guys already know the vibes. Anytime we slide on through, we're here to give you that work when it comes to this professional wrestling business. And guys, it is Sunday, and guys, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling that adrenaline right now, y'all, because it's Sunday. It's the season premiere of the Sunday House Party. We got a lot of things that we're going to be talking about, a whole lot to get into. But when I have a Sunday House Party, I got to have my team with me. I got to have them with me now. And when I do that, I got to bring in my guy, the voice, Josh Joseph. What is up, bro?
How goes it, House? How goes it, household? It's a Sunday, like House said. So that means Sunday house party, and a Sunday house party don't stop. What? Oh, yeah, it does, because we got shit to do. I mean, we're humans. We are.
Be adults.
But, I'm excited to be here. Dude, I cannot wait for this. House, I am ready to explode.
Man, I know you are, man. Keep it over there, all right? Don't explode over here.
We'll do.
Explode over in your area, all right? Because
no worries.
But I get it though. I do get it, because
we got
a really, really huge guest. We got areas away from us, but we got a really big guest. So we're gonna bring that guest on here in a little bit. But before we do that, we got to bring on our guy here, our other co-host here, the blue-eyed villain himself, Grunmeister, returning to In Your House. What is up, man?
Yo, what's up? It's a Sunday. we had an awesome SmackDown, and we got more wrestling to talk about.
Absolutely, man. We got a lot of wrestling to talk about, and guys, there's so much to talk about, because not only do we have a really big guest that we're about to bring on here in a little bit, we also have a big announcement to make, a huge announcement a little bit later on in the show. This right here, the live on location house party that we've been teasing for a long time. We're dropping that news. We're announcing it today at the end of the show. So stick around for that. But don't just stick around for that. You need to stick around for the whole show, because we knew that this was going to be a huge episode. We needed to bring in a massive guest to really make that feel come in that, hey, this is the season premiere, guys. This is a huge episode, a lot of trajectory for In Your House. We're doing a lot of awesome and amazing things. And, it's great to get back in that indie wrestling vibe. I was just at Emerge Wrestling last night in Columbus, Indiana, and it was great to get back into the mix, hitting the table again, color commentating, and really just having a great time being back in the mix again with the locker room. Appreciate it.
Out there, you looked good behind that table, man.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. I love what I do. I enjoy what I do. And, man, wrestling is always big, always a lot to talk about. This past week, man, there was a lot of talk of the PWI 500 came out, and you know how it goes when that comes out, and you know how it goes when that comes out. But man, I say that to say this. I wanted to bring on a massive guest, and I think we brought on an amazingly massive guest here to supplement what we're trying to curate here and create. Ladies and gentlemen, you have seen him in his highly viral videos. You've seen him as a former OVW champion. You've seen him in his efforts to ban the super kick. You've seen him go overseas. You have seen him on your phone screen. You have seen him on your computer screen. The veteran, Jack Vaughn, comes to In Your House. Welcome, bro.
Hello, that was quite the build-up. You get the people all the way up here, and then they see my face, and they're like, get back down here.
Man, they know who you are. Our listeners know exactly who you are and what you bring to the table, man. So first and foremost, I just got to say I appreciate you for taking some time out of your schedule to come and talk to us here, bro.
Yes.
Oh, pleasure's all mine. Thank you guys so much for having me. It's already been a productive Sunday. I've already hit the gym. I got my groceries. I got coffee. I'm ready to go.
Wow.
Right.
Those are real
Hey, that's what we like to hear.
Man.
Yeah, I like it. Hey, yes, I do, man. And like honestly, there's what to me, there's not a lot to not like with Jack Vaughn. Jack, I've been following your career for a very long time, and man, it's been a joy to watch from afar, man. So like with everything that you've been doing, and I kind of said it earlier on with the time that you make to make all these viral videos, keeping yourself booked, all the accolades that you seem to be acquiring over this time. How is life for you right now at this point? With all the success that you've seen, and really it feels like a short amount of time.
Yeah, I like to refer to myself as the 20-year overnight sensation, because I wrestled for about probably 17 years or so before I had any real notoriety in wrestling because of the videos.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of a misnomer. I took some years off in there, so it wasn't quite that long, but it's been crazy because it's one of those things where I'm not quite big enough to where I can make a living off of wrestling, but I'm big enough to where I'm constantly booked. So my schedule right now, it's very, very rare for me to have an entire day to myself. So, and not that that's a problem. I like staying busy. I love being on the road and doing shows and stuff, but sometimes it gets a little tiring.
Oh, I'm sure. It's probably good to take a little time off, stop and smell the roses and everything. I think that that's important is to, of course, you're always looking to climb. And I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about that as far as your aspirations and where you look to go and everything. But I think it's always good to really sometimes dig in and be a little reflective a little bit and be like, man, I've come so far, and, give yourself a little bit of grace. So I'm happy to hear that you can take that time and have that, have those feelings of like, man, I've come so far, especially with the journey that you've had. Like you said, the 17-year overnight sensation. This is, it's not like you've just been wrestling for a cup of coffee. You've been wrestling for a very, very long time, but like you were able to evolve yourself to make it to where you were able to be this viral sensation. And I'll definitely have questions about that, but I'm going to throw it to Voice here, man. I know that Vaughn is somebody who you've looked to talk to for a very long time. What questions do you have for the veteran, Jack Vaughn?
All right, Jack. First and foremost, I know we've covered it. Thank you again for joining us. This is truly a bright day in my life to speak to you. I love all of what you're doing out there. I would just like to go back in time. You had a match at the Squared Circle Expo against the Gun Club, which we see what they're doing now up in AEW. But your tag team partner was Tim Lutz. Now we know Tim; he's a Guinness Book World holder. But unfortunately, you guys did not get the win in that match. When you were teamed up with Tim, knowing all his accolades, did you think that this was even a possibility? Like losing was a foreign language to you in this match?
So I don't know if you know the record that Tim held, but the record that he held is for the longest wrestling match. I don't know exactly how long it was. So you would think that he would have the kind of endurance needed to topple the Guns. I mean, you got to think of that, because it wasn't Austin and Colton. It was actually Billy Gunn and Colton Gunn.
Yes.
And Colton was still fairly new to the business at the time, and unfortunately, Billy Gunn, you can say that he's 60 years old, but the guy has not aged a day in the last 25 years. So,
No.
You would think that, a man that wrestled in the longest wrestling match would have the endurance to outlast Billy Gunn, but it is what it is. I think I might have actually gotten the one that got beat in that match, so I don't know if I can blame Tim for that one.
Well, okay. I would like to go with you down that rabbit hole, but Tim seemed to, I don't know, that first opening bit, it seemed more like you were putting him out there maybe to see if this Guinness Book World Record accolade was of worth. But Tim held his own, but yes, you did get the unfortunate pin in that. I think it was rigged. I honestly, I was cheering for Jack Vaughn and Tim also just because he was with you. But Jack, you were definitely my favorite in that. Let me ask you one more question. I'm going to flip over to your match you had with Carlito back in the day, and earlier in the match, you seemed to use the tactic of not allowing too much space between you and Carlito. Was that something that you seen in his past that you like to enclose on him and not allow him to have his moment where he can hit you with a standing drop kick? A lot of the match seemed very like almost octagon like with you.
Yeah, I mean that was kind of my mentality was wrestling, and because that was a surprise. I didn't even know that Carlito was going to be there. It was kind of an impromptu match. So, we get out there and it's like he's going to try to surprise me, but I just got to get out there and try to like take it to him. I can't allow him time to breathe. And, I just wanted to try to stay on him. And again, unfortunately, you keep picking all these matches that I lost. But
I'm sorry.
No, that was unfortunately, again, didn't come out on the winning side. And also the ref had there were some shady dealings with the ref in that match.
Yes.
So I can't say that Carlito definitively beat me without a little bit of shenanigans, but in the record books, it does have him as the winner.
It does. I just have one last question of that. Does he hit hard?
He doesn't hit soft, I'll say that much.
Yeah. Because he looked like on a couple of those, he wound back pretty hard on your chest.
There's a lot of guys say they like to work snug, and Carlito is a living example. But I love that. Like I prefer it that way. I don't. We're out there. We're supposed to be big superstars. Let's go out there and beat the hell out of each other.
So is that more of a way for you to kind of expand the Jack Vaughn image, the Jack Vaughn mindset in a match like that? When someone is giving you all they can give, you can kind of feed off of that. Am I wrong in that?
Oh, for sure. It's one of those things where it's like, I always make the joke that, granted, like Carlito and I are not friends, but I always like, we're not like close or anything is what I mean. But I always make the joke that when you're wrestling people that you've known for a long time and you're wrestling your friends, you always tend to hit them a little bit harder. And it's because you just get that adrenaline going, it's not personal. And you're just like, let's just go out there and like put on a good show and just, as outside of anyone getting like an actual like, an actual like injury, you're kind of cool with whatever happens. And that's, I always try to be the kind of guy who's like, I want my stuff to look good. And if that means I have to lay it in a little bit more and, and obviously as safely as I can, then I'm going to.
No, I love that. And that reminds me a lot of when me and Howse do our Friday night ECW watch alongs. We talk a lot about that because you see it back in that era. Some of those guys went 1,000%. And it was because of the close relationships they had with their friends outside of the ring. And Howse always brings that up. So it's really great to hear a veteran like you cement that idea so our fans can understand more of what the wrestling mindset is in a ring.
Yeah. And also, it's one of those things where, especially on the independent circuit, a lot of the fans are really close to the ring. So, I don't want to do something where they can obviously look at it and be like, oh, well, that looked fake, or it looked like he wasn't really hitting somebody. Like I want them to feel it.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't want a Rock at Mania moment where he's blading himself right in front of everybody.
Right, exactly.
Well,
Oh man.
I'm so stoked that you entertained those questions. Those were definitely the ones I had for my deep cut. I just honestly, you bring what I love to wrestling. I love the theatrics. I love the kayfabe. I love what you're doing on TikTok. I love what you're doing with your social medias, and it's just so refreshing to know that there's still guys like you out there doing stuff for us. Because I mean, you can see it. You're doing it for the fans, and it's fantastic.
What's the thing that Cornette
Yeah.
always says? For the people that like that kind of thing, that's the thing that those people like.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to appeal. I want to appeal to everyone because I think we all want to do that. But I do feel like my style and my, the veteran in general is definitely more tuned into like that old school fan that wants their stuff to look more like Mid-South and that sort of thing, Mid-Atlantic, that sort of stuff. The people that want it to look a little bit more like a real fight. So that's the kind of wrestling that I grew up loving. So that's the kind of wrestling that I want to do.
Yeah. WCW mid card. That's what I like in it too. That was my favorite era of wrestling. WCW mid card.
Love WCW. I love me some WCW for sure. But I love me some Jack Vaughn because these videos, man, we got to get into it. Because I just feel like we have to discuss it. The videos that you make, man, they're so like satirical and tongue in cheek. And like I remember when you first started doing them, like respectfully, there were some guys that were like, what's this guy doing? They're just putting a little heat on you and whatnot, and that was part of that. But like you what I like, honestly, what I like about it is that you're like, you know what, I'm gonna keep doing them. Like I appreciated that you took the brunt of that and was like, whatever, I'm gonna keep doing it because it works, and like it paid off for you. I mean, some of your amazing TikToks. I did pull up your
Vaughn and Jack. I don't have the heavyweight championship anymore.
Jack, when you're doing a promo, you have to bring the championship. You are the champion, and it lets them know who you are. Yes.
I lost the championship.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I can't say that.
What, did you just leave it at Wendy's?
No, I lost it.
Where's the last place you saw it? Waffle House? I know you love Waffle House.
Tony Gunn had it.
Then go get it back from Tony.
You can't just go take it. That's not how this works.
Well, it worked for him. He just took your championship, walks away, and you say you lost it. Do you know what lost means?
Dude, you know what lost means?
I thought you knew what championship was. And I thought you knew it was
I don't know what a championship is.
I'm saying you don't have your championship.
That's correct, but it's not my championship anymore.
Why?
Because I lost it.
Well, there we are. You lost it, Jack. You have to be more responsible with things. I'm not mad. I'm disappointed. Mistakes are made. I understand that. But the thing's like, what, 15 pounds? You have to notice when you put it down somewhere.
How are you thinking the word lost means right now?
I've lost a little respect for you, but be honest, but I also feel like
That hurts a little.
And I don't mean to hurt you. I'm just disappointed. Put it down. Tony Gunn comes over and takes it, and now you just rolled over and said, well, that man owns my things now.
I don't fully understand why you're not understanding.
Bad something.
Yes.
You've misplaced it, and now it's lost.
No, I didn't misplace it. I lost it. Know exactly where it is.
Okay, again, you're using the word wrong. Someone took it from you.
Technically, yes.
You had the championship.
Yes.
Tony Gunn has taken it from you.
Uh-huh.
You're just accepting that Tony Gunn has stolen your property, and you are moving on with life.
I gotta get a rematch.
Hold on. You lost it in a match?
Yes.
What?
It's stuff like this here, like that. It's so entertaining and like, I guess I just want to ask you, what made you think to do these videos? How did they come about? And then when you saw them rising, how did you think to be like, all right, this is a thing? Like, where did all this formulate from?
So I never miss an opportunity to put over Brutal Bob Evans. If you're not familiar with Bob, Bob's a guy who's been around. Yeah, Bob's been around a long time and has a lot of great information for wrestlers. And he was doing a show here in the Cincinnati area that I was on. And I had known Bob through social media, but I'd never really had a chance to really talk to him in person. And he did a seminar after the show. And I went to just kind of hang out and kind of pick his brain. And he told me, he's like, Jack, I really like the way that you do social media. Because at that point, it was all just like written stuff or like pictures with captions and stuff like that. It wasn't any video content, but he was like, I think that
Mhm.
you would do really well doing video content because that's what's big right now. He's like, specifically, I think you should start doing TikTok. And, I was kind of hesitant because I was so like adamantly against TikTok. Like I had never downloaded it. I really didn't want to do it, but I decided to go ahead and film a couple things, and it was like immediate. Like I posted the first video, and then within 24 hours, it had almost 100,000 views. And then I panicked because I had filmed 2 videos. So I posted the second video the next day, and within 24 hours, it had done 200,000. And then I really started to freak out because I was like, I don't have any more stuff to post. Like,
Yeah.
so I just found like a clip. Like I think my third clip was like, it was just a picture of me hitting, or a video of me hitting my big lariat at OVW. And like, it didn't do as well, but it still did pretty well for like a wrestling clip. And then I realized, oh my God, like we kind of have something here. And luckily at that time, there was a company that I worked for. They're not around anymore, unfortunately, but they were called FGW. They were in Hamilton, Ohio. And that was like those early videos.
FGW,
that was, those early videos, that was the ring that I filmed all the videos in. And again, unfortunately, they're not around anymore. So I kind of lost that. But that's why it sucks because I don't have easy access to a ring anymore. I kind of have to like make plans if I want to do videos in a ring.
Sure.
But yeah, that was kind of how it started. And then, you would kind of mention I got a little bit of heat, and, it was one of those things where it was like, I understand why I got the backlash that I did from wrestlers at the time, because it's kind of like, okay, well, who's this guy that we've never heard of who's telling us that what we're doing is wrong? And I think it was one of those things that people eventually over time just realized, oh, Jack's legit. He's actually been around a while. He's actually, he may not be a big name, but he's been around a long time. People know him. They respect him. And I think really what it was, like, they realized, oh, it's part of the gimmick. And I think that was what was lost on a lot of people. It was like, oh, it's part of his whole shtick. So, but yeah, that's why I just kind of stuck with it. And really at the end of the day, it's like, at that point I had been wrestling for so long and had never done anything. So if people don't like it, what am I going to do? Like, who cares? Am I going to not get booked? Like, just keep doing it.
Yeah, man. It's so, your story is just so cool, man. Just to see you rise. And it's not just the videos. Like, I know, like, especially taking pride in what you do, like what you like, your specific style of wrestling. Like, it reminds me of, like, it gives me like like the Last Real Man, Silas Young type vibes from Ring of Honor, Stan Hansen type vibes. That's the energy that I get from you and what comes off of you and the character that you portray. And like, I remember once again, like, you were banning the super kick. You were against all the flippy floppy stuff. None of that high fast pace. We're real men around here. We really do this. We will really kick your ass. And I like that. That's what's like. And it's what I loved about it is that it was so contrast from what the mainstream is, because everybody loves the flippy stuff and the high fast pace. No selling and blah blah blah, and there's a place for it. I definitely get that. It's not specifically my cup of tea. I prefer like the storytelling and the peaks and valleys of a match and whatnot, and selling mattering and blah blah blah. I'm not going to get into all that, but what I like specifically about what you do is that it pokes fun at the business, and it's still it forces the business to kind of look in the mirror a little bit. A lot of these guys like watch your videos and they get mad. And I feel like some of them get mad and like, damn, I'm mad because that's what I do. And I know I should do it, So, it's that type of stuff that I like. But man, the success that you've seen at this stage in your career, I'm sure for you, it feels like a lifetime, because you said there was a long period of time where you were wrestling and you didn't do anything in your career. Now, not only do you have the viral videos, I want to ask you, what was it like when you went over to OVW? And it seemed like you shot up that card like fairly quickly from my vantage point. I mean, it felt like it was a quick rise, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're an OVW World Heavyweight Champion. How was that for you, and how was that particular journey in your career for you?
Yeah, That was a very weird situation. So I had started doing some matches with them back in late 2021, and it was for like 2 months. I did nothing but dark matches, and they just kind of had me squashing guys, that sort of thing. Just real short, basic matches. And then I finally got on.
You went up
TV.
against Sam Knight in one of them too.
I did, yeah. That's unfortunately is the only time that I've ever gotten a chance to work with Sam, like in a singles match.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
that was one of them. And I finally got on TV and I got squashed. And then I was gone for 6 months. They just kind of stopped booking me. And I wasn't like I wasn't offended. It was kind of like one of those things where it's like, okay, well, like they have their guys. They probably just don't have like an angle for me. That's probably why they haven't put me on TV or anything. And I was doing well, I was getting my name out a little bit, and I had, I still had plenty of bookings. So I was like, I'm not going to get too upset. So I just kind of did my own thing. And then there was one day where I randomly got a text from one of the agents, and they were like, hey, can you be here on Thursday? We're going to put you in a main event angle. And I was like, oh, yeah, absolutely, I can be there. And it was like I came back, and then 2 weeks after that date, I was the heavyweight champion. So I was pretty much thrown into the main event immediately when they finally started to bring me on as like a full-time roster member.
Wow.
that is crazy. How was that like? I want to dig just a little bit deeper into that. Like, how was that for you to be a guy that was on the dark portion of their matches? Then when you finally got to TV, you were just getting squashed, taken off TV for a while, and boom, 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 all of a sudden you're the guy. How was that for you, like mentally going through that in such a short period of time to be in that spot?
It's interesting because I'm a very easygoing guy. I if there's any wrestlers that dislike me, I just assume it's because they've never been in a locker room with me.
Right.
I'm very easy to get along with. I'm not a politician. I just kind of hang out, do my thing, and that's it. And but I feel like in that time that I was doing the dark matches, I kind of people had kind of warmed up to me and kind of knew kind of what I was all about. But at the same time, it's like there's always egos in wrestling, no matter what level you're on. So when I come in and they tell me we're going to put the title on you tonight, I was kind of like, oh, well, I not that it's almost like you kind of have to look at it like a minefield. Because like you don't know how people are going to take this, because there are plenty of guys that have been there way longer than me that have put in a lot more work with the company that aren't getting those opportunities. And it's kind of like, well, why is this guy coming in and automatically getting the championship? It doesn't make sense. And so luckily I didn't really have, at least not, they didn't come to my face. I didn't have anyone like coming up to me and kind of being upset about it, but I'm sure that some people kind of had some second thoughts, like, are we really going to, put this guy in one of our top spots? So it was, but luckily I had like the support of all like the agents and sort of the production people. And they were kind of like, hey man, if anyone gives you crap, like, let me know, I'll take care of it. And I'm like, well, that's cool. But luckily I didn't really have any of that. I've kind of always gotten along with any locker room that I'm in. So it really wasn't a problem.
That's awesome.
That's good. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. It was definitely. I remember when it hit social media that you'd won that title, and I was like, "Oh, what?" Like, it was a cool moment, and I was like, "That's amazing." Especially since I had just done OVW, like I think a few months before that had happened, and I was managing Sam Knight on an episode of OVW, which was cool. But man, you've done so much, Jack, like just in this time that you've become popular. And of course, once again, like I said at the top of the show, one of the big conversations from this past week in wrestling is, of course, when it comes out, and it's always a topic of conversation, it's always polarizing. That's the PWI 500 that just dropped this past week. A lot of people have things to say about it, some not so good, some people excited about it. I know that you had some things to say about it on social media, of course, in only the way Jack Vaughn can. But I want to ask you, you clocked in at number 300, man. And like, I know once again, there's a lot of thoughts there with that list. I want to ask you on a personal level, seeing yourself come in, clock in at 300, as you said yourself, 8 billion people on this planet. That means 8 billion professional wrestlers, 8 billion aspiring professional wrestlers, and you're number 300 in the entire world. I want to ask you, man, how is that for you?
It's I actually forgot to submit for the previous year, and I was like, man, I probably have a good opportunity, and I just forgot to do it. So I wanted to make sure that I did it this year. And
Sure.
it's again, like you said, there's always a lot of like controversy around it. And it's not even necessarily about like where people are placed. It's more like the wrestlers that didn't make it or didn't submit. They trash it, but then when they're on it, it's the coolest thing in the world.
Right.
But for me, it was like I was optimistic that I would make the list. Did not expect to be as high as I was, because I knew that I had a good year. I had won the OVW title 2 more times. I had main evented a big show in Romania. I had wrestled EC3 for the NWA title. Like I had a really good year, and then obviously with the social media stuff, I got it skyrocketed even more. It was very cool for me. It's one of those things where, because I kind of look at when I wrestle, I kind of wrestle with a chip on my shoulder, because there's always, with me and the way that I've done things, there's always going to be those fans that think that I'm not any good, and they think that like I don't know how to wrestle and that I'm boring or whatever. And it's kind of like, hey, like here's the biggest wrestling publication in the world, kind of giving me a little bit of validation, and they can look at the list and be like, oh, well, 300 is not a big deal. But then I'm kind of like, okay, well, what number are you?
Right.
It's one of those things like throw back in your face. Like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, it's a mark list, but you know what? You're not on the mark list.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So true.
That's very true. I mean,
man.
that list, if you're a wrestling fan though, that list as a kid, as growing up, as becoming a fan, that was meaningful. That was somebody to check out. And that was a list where you could check out people you didn't even know about and read a little blurb about them, and then run to YouTube and find them, so that's awesome that you hit 300. Next year, I could have only imagined even higher.
I hope so. I mean, they go year by year. So, I mean, hopefully my 2024 into 2025 is even bigger for me. But, if I'm still going to submit, and I'm still going to try to make the list. But if I'm like lower, then, not a big deal. It just means that, the previous year was a little bit better. But, I think Cody Rhodes actually put out a tweet or something. He was like, any wrestler that tells you they don't care about the list is lying to you. Like, we all care. Because it's still a cool thing, no matter where you're at. So this actually isn't the first time that I made the list. I made the list in 2007, and I remember I was 492, but I was under a different name. I was not under Jack Vaughn. And but it was almost like when you're that high on the list, or that low, I guess, you're kind of like, well, they probably just needed to fill out some numbers. But I feel like this year it really was like, oh, well, yeah, Jack had a good year. He's got a little bit of name recognition. He had, so let's give him a good spot, because he deserves it. So it is validating to me this year.
Yeah, exactly what I was going to say. You're validating here.
Yeah. And it's well deserved. It really is. I mean, we've talked about all of your accomplishments and whatnot. You even brought up your NWA championship match against EC3. So many things that you've done that have been amazing, but also more things that you've done is you've recently been having these opportunities to go overseas and wrestle internationally, man. I just wanted to have you kind of go into that a little bit and talk a little bit about how that's been for you, getting a chance to wrestle overseas.
Oh, it's been awesome. So this year I'm going back in November. It'll be my 3rd year going. I basically, once a year, I take a trip, and you guys might know who he is. I go over there with Jake Oman. And
yes, I know Jake Oman. Yes.
Yeah. And last year we also had Aaron Williams tagging along with us. And
oh yes, love Aaron Williams.
Yeah. The first year that I went was 2022. We went to Finland and Sweden, which I've told my wife that when when we eventually retire, we're going to retire to Finland because it is the most beautiful place I've ever seen in my life.
That sounds
And,
awesome.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like it was just being over there, like, cause I've been to other countries, but it was like for like vacation. It was like, you know, I've been to like Canada and I went to like Jamaica once, you know, like, so like going over there to actually wrestle and to kind of see more of the culture and that sort of thing was really fun for me. And then last year we went to Romania and the UK, and Romania was really cool. Like, so the show we did in Romania, it was like a bunch of like international guys. So there was like obviously me, Jake, and Aaron. I think were the only Americans there. And then I wrestled Erkan Solkani from Germany. I know that like Jake wrestled a gentleman from Hungary. Aaron wrestled a guy from Belgium. So it's like the whole show was just like a big like European like international like super show. And there was the first time like I've had people tell me like I kind of get the idea of how big the videos have gotten, but it wasn't until I went to Romania and before the match started, people were chanting for a thigh slap that I really realized, oh my God, this is way bigger than I ever could have imagined. Like, I never in a million years would I expect anyone in Romania to even know who I am. But like, I guess that just goes to show how powerful of a tool social media is, you know. And I get a lot of people that leave comments like, hey, you know, congratulations from Germany, or, you know, on the PWI post, it was like, congratulations from Ecuador. And I'm like, oh my God, how do you people know who I am? But then it's like, well, because of social media, we're all connected. You know, we can find anything that we want to find. And then when we went to the UK, we did God, I think we had like 7 shows in 6 days. It was really sweet. It was there was this company called Mega Slam, and they do what are called camp shows. So over there, they have these like vacation areas. It's all kind of under one big umbrella, one big company. And one of the things that they do is people go there for vacation, and then at the main hall, they have someone doing entertainment for the night. And once a week, they have wrestling. So it was like every day we were in a different town, and it was like we were running with a crew of only 6 guys. And it was like you set up the ring, you have 2 matches, intermission, tag match, take the ring down. And the whole thing's like up and done in like an hour and a half. It's crazy like how efficient it is. And then like when we got done with them, we went to we were in London, and we did a few shows there. We did one for EWE, which was like, it was in this place called the Bedford, which is like this really historical pub in downtown London, where like a bunch of like major British bands played, like The Clash and gosh, I can't remember. Like there's like posters all over the walls, but like it's like a small venue because it's like a concert venue, but it's also got like an upper deck area, and it was just packed, like standing room only. And it was like, I love venues like that are small but get packed. And then this year we're not doing as many shows, but we're doing a lot of training and seminars with guys. We're going to be going to Bulgaria and Poland.
Oh, Bulgaria would be so fun.
I got an email probably about 6 or 8 months ago from a company they're starting a new wrestling school. Actually, I think they just started it. They said they were starting in September, and they asked if next time I come over to Europe, if I'd like to come over and train them for a few days. So it'd be like, it's like a 3-day seminar. And then after that, we're going to be going to Poland, and I think we're going to be doing some training, and then we'll cap it off with a show.
That's awesome.
Wow. That is amazing.
Dude, we might be seeing some like Rusev type dudes be doing Jack Vaughn shit.
Oh boy,
this could be awesome.
Oh boy,
nice slap.
Oh
yeah,
man.
Bulgaria was
amazing.
Like Bulgaria was not on my bingo card in terms of like country, like the countries that I would go. You know, like Finland and Sweden. Like I got those. Like pretty much, Jake is like Mr. International. He's been to like 35 countries at this point, so he knows international travel very well. And I was actually very happy that this year with Bulgaria and Poland, it's 2 countries that he's never been to. So this will be really fun for him too.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's so cool.
That's
That's amazing. Yeah, that's I love to hear stuff like that. Like I have not been able to world travel, but it's something that I aspire to do, like when I possibly can. So it's always cool to hear stories about somebody who's been to different countries and experienced different cultures, and not only just that, but of course there's that. If you really like put forth the effort, of course you could travel to a different country, but mix it in with the fact that you're going out there to do something that you love doing. You're going out there to wrestle, and while you're going out there to wrestle, you're going out there experiencing these amazing different atmospheres, which I just think is really cool, man. And yeah, I think following your career and everything that I've seen from the time that I've got familiar with your career, because when I found you, you were trying to ban that super kick. You were up in arms with the super kick, done with it, tired of it. You wanted it out of wrestling. And I was like, you know what? People do super kick a lot, and it is annoying. And so I kind of hopped on that. Man. But yeah, Grun, you've been here
Yes.
kind of studying the situation and everything, man.
have.
And I know that you did a little homework on him.
I did.
Do you have any questions for the
You know-
veteran Jack Vaughn?
You know what? I do, because Jack, you call yourself the last real professional wrestler, and you know what? There's someone that, to me and to anyone else watching, that may not know, how did you discover that you are the last real professional wrestler?
Well, like I said, I took some time off from wrestling for a few years. And when I decided that I wanted to come back, I realized that wrestling had changed a lot over the previous 5 or 6 years. And it was almost like unrecognizable from the wrestling that I was trained to do and the wrestling that I enjoy. So I just kind of like, you know what? It's almost like what's old is new again. So I'm just going to go out there and do the things that I used to do that people don't see anymore. And because things had gotten so far away from what real wrestling is, and I'm the only one still doing it, then I therefore have to be the last real professional wrestler.
That's fantastic. Now, I to the young children that are wondering, what do I have to do to become a real professional wrestler? What tips do you have for them?
It's very simple. Take wrestling seriously. That's all I can tell you. Like, treat wrestling like it's a real fight, because at the end of the day, that's what wrestling is. It's, I know that like kayfabe's dead and everyone knows that wrestling's a work now, but wrestling still works when the people in the ring are taking it seriously. Yeah. And that's why, like, I don't know what you guys, I'm sure you guys watched WrestleMania, but like, Cody versus Roman, I thought was such a good match just because they were taking everything seriously. Obviously they had like Taker and Cena and Rock and everything and all, they had kind of the shenanigans, but like at the end of the day, the reason that match felt so big was because they had taken it so seriously up to that point, because storytelling will always work, in my opinion.
Same. Yes. Agreed.
Oh, that's in your house. That's what we believe in. Storytelling is just one of our.
That is our belief. That is our religion. It's storytelling.
It is. That's how it is around here, man.
You can have a 14-match card and have 14 great matches, but if no one has a reason to tune into the next show, why would they tune in?
Yes.
Right. Yep.
I love storytelling.
We had a question in the chat house from OG Tony.
Yeah, bring it up.
He's asking Jack, how do you get those bookings? He was speaking about the overseas bookings that you're getting. He was just curious on how you obtain those.
Well, I'll be completely transparent here. If you're gonna make a trip overseas, especially if it's your first time, don't be afraid to lose money, because not that I went bankrupt or anything, but like that first trip to Finland and Sweden, like I spent a lot of money on that plane ticket, and luckily we had people that like put us up in rooms and we didn't really have to worry about that. But we definitely lost money on that trip, but I also don't want to go my whole life and not have that experience. So and because like I mentioned, like social media, we're all connected. You can easily find, companies in the areas that you want to go to. So it's just a matter of reaching out, putting yourself out there and seeing what you can make happen. So, just one thing that I wish I would have done more when I was younger was I was much more timid than I am now. And I wish I would have been more put myself out there and been like, hey,
Sure.
I want to come work for you. Like, what, is there anything, any way you can help me? Like, I was afraid to ask questions, and I was afraid to ask for bookings and ask for to ride along with guys. Like, that's the kind of stuff that I wish I would have done in my 20s. But yeah, I guess maybe now that's my my purpose, is to let guys know, like, hey, do things differently than I did when I was young.
Hey, helping out
Yeah.
with just one person in
Yeah.
this business,
Yeah.
that's a paycheck in itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. No, I agree. And we're definitely talking and discussing, having a great conversation here with the veteran Jack Vaughn. And guys, we really appreciate you guys sliding in. If you guys aren't catching us live, you already know where you can catch us at. That's on Apple Podcasts. That is on Spotify, anywhere that you get your major podcasts there. And I just got a couple of more questions here for Jack before we go ahead and let him go for the time that he's given us, which is really appreciated. So we've really talked about a lot of the accolades that you've had in your career here. I really want to dig a little bit deeper here and ask this: out of all the things that you've done, and maybe it's something that we haven't even mentioned on this podcast, I want to ask, what would you say is your proudest moment in your career?
Proudest moment. Interesting. It's different. It's weird because it's I could just say oh, winning the OVW title is my biggest accomplishment.
Yeah.
But to me, it's I finally feel like I have made a mark on wrestling, even if it's just a small one.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of obviously there was guys that did social media for wrestling before me, like Cardona, Dan Howse, they kind of did their thing. But I do feel like in some ways I kind of changed the game on how guys can use social media to get their characters over. And I feel like you see guys that are doing things similar to me, and I don't have a problem with that. I encourage it. Like social media is a great tool, use it. So I feel like that's probably my personal biggest accomplishment, is just I feel like I finally left a mark on the wrestling business, and I'm not just some guy that was in obscurity his entire career.
Oh,
I
yeah,
love that.
no,
I love that.
I dig that. That's a good answer, man. That's a
Yeah.
good answer. So I also want to ask this once again. I know you're the type of guy, just from having a conversation with you, having this conversation with you, you seem like a pretty thoughtful guy, but also still a man that is probably still looking to climb, looking to ascend. So I want to ask you this: is there any goals that you haven't touched yet in your career, Jack, that you're looking to touch before you hang them up?
It's one of those things where I don't feel like I need a contract anywhere to feel like I've been a success in wrestling. It's love me or hate me, at least at one point in time, I can say that I was one of the most talked about independent wrestlers in the world, which is still pretty cool to say. But I don't need a contract, but I do. There's that little part of me that's oh, that would just be complete validation that even if it's a smaller company like an NWA or a TNA, just to kind of get that one national run would be really cool for me.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I definitely get that. And we were talking about, we want to see it. We want to see,
Yeah,
we want
I
to
was
see
just
it.
gonna say that.
Weren't we just talking about that?
Yeah, TNA specifically. That's exactly what we were talking about.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. Yep.
And I'm trying. It's not like I'm just
Exactly.
kind of sitting back and trying to just waiting for it to happen. I have contacts with all the major companies. They all know who I am. So I am actively trying to make it happen, but it's one of those things where hey, if it doesn't happen, it's not going to be the end of the world.
Well, Jack, with all your knowledge in this business and anything, how can we as fans help in any way to get you into that arena?
I mean, I don't want to be one of those guys that's oh, share my post and tag TNA Wrestling or tag Tony Khan. I feel like that's so for lack of a better term, marky. I don't want people to be I don't want to ask people to put me over, but
Okay.
I guess it's just one of those things where, like, people put out stuff like that all the time. Like, who's people that you'd like to see signed to big companies? Like, if you want to drop my name, that'd be cool. But I don't know. I guess the easiest way is to just keep sharing my stuff and engaging with my content, and that helps me. It helps algorithms. I don't know exactly how all the algorithms work, but that's stuff that helps my content get out there to more people. So that would probably be the easiest way.
Okay. Well, the next time I go to one of their shows, I will deck myself out in your gear. I will have signs. I will make a nuisance of myself with your name, buddy.
Right there on our camp, sign Jack Vaughn.
Yeah, just standing out there.
Oh man.
Sign Jack Vaughn, you cowards.
Yes, exactly.
Do it, you cowards.
I will poke that bear for
Well,
you, buddy.
It's funny, because I've had a lot of people tell me this over the last couple of years, that because of the character, what's funny about the character is that because of social media, it's completely changed the gimmick. Because when I first came up with it, it was supposed to be 100% heel. Like, I didn't want anyone to like me. I didn't want fans. I didn't want to sell merch. I wanted to be like 2004 JBL kind of stuff. And I was going that route. And then I did the social media stuff, and then it got over, and now I'm a big baby face everywhere I go. But what I've had people tell me over the last couple of years is, like, that character would work so well with any of the big companies. And like they always specifically point out AEW and TNA. And I'm just like, yeah, like, I feel like if I had an opportunity, and that's really all I really want, is like, give me an opportunity and I know I'll go out there and kill it. It's like that character, like, it's kind of meant to be fourth wall breaking. And, in the age of the internet, when everyone knows that wrestling's a work, it makes sense. So I kind of feel like if I got the opportunity, then they would see dollar signs.
We agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, no, most definitely. So, of course, guys, this is the season premiere of the Sunday House Party. We have a great guest right here, but we also have our other co-host here, Wednesday's show, The Raw Deal with Howse. I know she's going to pop in for a second and talk to us. What is up, Annie?
What's up, everyone? I am in beautiful Lower Michigan, Erie Park, ready for some jiu-jitsu, ready for some grappling. What's everyone doing on this beautiful day? How's everyone feeling? It's amazing to see everyone.
Annie,
Well,
we're
Annie-
in here with veteran Jack Vaughn. Say what's up to Jack.
It's so great to finally see you. I'm a big fan of everything that you put out there. I just love that you entertain everyone the ways that you do. So it's great to kind of meet you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
We know you're a busy lady, Annie, and I just want to ask you before you get started with everything that you got going. And of course, I have you plug it before you go. It is our season premiere here, Annie. You know me and you talk every Wednesday. We have big news to drop, and we're going to get to that, and we're going to get your reaction to it. But where are your excitement levels at as far as this big drop that we're going to make at the end of this episode?
You know what? I'm ecstatic, Con. Like, we put the work out there. We deserve the benefit of our labors, and it's just amazing to be on this winning team. And I'm just genuinely excited to see what we're going to accomplish. And it's the best is yet to come,
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. Annie, we're going to go ahead and let you go. We wanted you to pop in for such an important episode that we're having, but let everybody know once again where you're at, what you're doing, and make sure that you put on for in your house when you're out there doing what you're doing.
Absolutely. I'm at Ganja Grappler, a weed-infused jiu-jitsu event. We break stigmas. We raise everyone to the higher elevation, and that's just what we do. So out here supporting my friend Katie. She's getting it. She's taking over the world. In your house, we're out here taking over the world, so everyone wins. So it's great to see everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day. Jack Vaughn, it's a pleasure to be on this brief moment with you. So I'm grateful, guys. Let's go out and get it.
Right on.
All
Annie,
right,
you
guys.
have a blast. Keep doing your thing. We
Absolutely.
appreciate you. Peace. Guys, That is Annie O'Neill. She is amazing. Everything that she does here. But we got to get it back to Jack Vaughn, man. And it's been such a great discussion with you, bro. Like, really to be able to pick your brain and have this chat with you has been amazing. But before we go ahead and give you a chance to plug everything that you want to plug and get out there, I have been given permission, and also I made sure to get your permission before this went on the air, that it's my duty to break some news regarding you and your future coming up in the next month or so. So, of course, once again, Jack, with your permission, may I break this news?
Absolutely, go for it.
All right. So, with the authority that's come from Commissioner Lowe over there in Columbus, Indiana, Emerge Wrestling wants to announce that the veteran Jack Vaughn is going to make his Emerge debut. Emerge A2 Thrills and Chills, Saturday, October 5th, 2024. Check it out. Bartholomew County Fairgrounds, right there in Columbus, Indiana. And of course, you already know I'll be out there on the call doing my thing. And this is going to be great. This will be the first time that I get an opportunity to call a Jack Vaughn match. And man, it would be it's amazing because I haven't got a chance to cross paths with you yet. And even though I've watched you for so long, it's going to be great to finally get into a situation with you. What are you going to be doing there? We do not know yet, but man, it's going to be exciting to have you there in Columbus, Indiana.
Yeah, I'm excited to finally make it happen. You know, I told you, but I'll kind of let the people in. Like, we've been trying to get me into Emerge for probably over a year now, and just schedules have just never lined up. And I guess it's, you know, a good problem for me to have. It's just, you know, I'm always booked, you know, so sometimes it's one of those things where I have to book myself months in advance before I can make it happen. But yeah, I'm really excited because I have a lot of I know a lot of guys that work up at Emerge, and they rave about the shows. So I'm excited to finally get in there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be great to see you mix it up, man. Most definitely. Voice, I want to give you an opportunity to give your final thoughts there to Jack. Anything that you want to just send him off on, bro, and then we're going to let this man enjoy the rest of his Sunday.
Awesome. Again, thank you so much, Jack, for doing this, taking the time out of your day. I know you are busy and you have a lot of life going on. But I'm going to take my time. There's another creator out there in our chat. He is called the Lou. This guy is fantastic. He is Jack Vaughn levels when it comes to Twitch streaming. He really gives his fans a epic show with blockbuster stuff and just real fun community to be around. But he is asking, who is your dream opponent and why?
Oh, okay, I like that.
So there's two that immediately come to mind. The first one is Gunther. And the reason is because I think Gunther has been the best wrestler in the world for probably the past 5 or 6 years. Like, I think he's so good. And
he's amazing.
And then the other one would be Samoa Joe, just because he's a guy that I've never crossed paths with, and I've been such a big fan of Joe for like 20 years now. So I would love to get a chance to mix it up with Joe.
Oh my God, that would be so epic. Here's my money. Take it. Like, let's just book this.
Yeah, take all of it. Take all of that.
Wow.
That's
yeah,
good stuff.
Again,
no,
thank you for just even answering my email and joining us and taking your time out. We absolutely adore what you're doing out there. Lou loves your answer. And if you get a chance, you know, just know throughout your wrestling career, throughout whatever you're doing, you got fans, man. And we absolutely love what you're doing.
I appreciate that. And that's one thing that my wife always points out to me. She's like, you know, for every person that hates you, there's 20 more that love what you're doing. So don't be upset if, you know, because I think in general, like when you're in the public eye, you have a tendency to like really dwell on the negativity when there's so much positivity around you. So that's a little life lesson. Like, don't listen to the haters.
I love it.
I
Thank you,
love
guys.
that, man. No, thank you, man. Grun, any last thoughts for our man, the veteran Jack Vaughn?
You know what? It was awesome to meet you. I definitely have obtained an appreciation and you've gained a new fan right here.
There you go.
Wonderful. Fantastic.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Jack, anything else that you want to plug before we let you go, man?
Just my social media stuff. You can find me pretty much on any social media at Vet Jack Vaughn. That's where you can find the videos and stuff like that. I also have a YouTube channel. You can just find that at Veteran Jack Vaughn. That's mostly just for matches, but outside of that, that's pretty much all I got going on right now. And you can see me every Thursday on OVW TV.
Yes,
That's
sir.
awesome.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the veteran Jack Vaughn, Mick Foley's favorite wrestler. Thank you so much for your time, man. It has been amazing to have you on our season premiere of the In Your House Sunday House Party. Guys, we're going to let our amazing guest go, former OVW champion, the veteran Jack Vaughn. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit of SmackDown, and of course, we have big news to drop. Ooh, hope you guys are ready. We'll be right back.
Do you like comedy? Have you ever done it? Have you ever thought about going up on stage and telling some of those jokes that your family and friends just love to hear? Well, now you have the opportunity. Every Thursday night, starting February 15th at Cooper's Pub, we are doing an open mic. The Kokomo Press is doing an open mic at Cooper's Pub in the downstairs comedy den. It's going to be awesome. It's going to start at 8 p.m. on Thursdays, February 15th. And we're going to be doing open mic with 10 to 15 spots for each comedian at 5 minutes a spot. Do not hesitate to sign up. Sign-ups will be at 7:30 physically down there in the bar. Or if you want to, you can sign up early. All you have to do is message our page at the Kokomo Press. It's going to be a great time. We're going to have drinks and we're going to have food specials. And it's all a part of Cooper's Pub. You just go straight in, and instead of making a right, you make a left, you go downstairs, you make a left, and you're right down there in the comedy den. Myself and Brian Allen West are excited to see you, and we'll also have friends that you may know, like Jordan Bell, a.k.a. Hypocrisy Jones, Sean Dalrymple, a local comedian we love, and even Courtney Richardson. You're going to see us all out there. We're going to be having a blast. And again, it starts February 15th, but after that, it's every Thursday at 8 p.m. in the comedy den downstairs at Cooper's Pub. Hope to see you there.
Hello everyone, it's the Pope Elijah Burke, founder and president of the Love Alive charity. I wanted to take this brief moment to share with you my charity's continued humanitarian efforts to positively impact the impoverished communities in and around the greater Jacksonville area. This cannot be possible without your support. If you'd be so kind, please take a moment to visit our website, love-alive.org, to learn more about the charity and its mission. Also, feel free to donate to our 501c3 organization that operates off of the donation of the public, which is you. Whether that be by website or via Cash App, $1 help makes a difference in the lives of others as we continue to positively influence many people by being the change that we wish to see in the world.
Welcome back to In Your House. And man, I got to tell you, Voice Grunt, I needed that commercial break to come down after such an amazing conversation with the veteran Jack Vaughn. That was an incredible conversation from somebody that's doing amazing things in the business. God, this season premiere is a banger right now, Voice.
Yeah, you ain't lying, House. And Grunt, great questions. I love the energy you brought with that.
Yes.
That was fantastic.
Yes.
And we got a message from him saying that he would love to come back. Like, we didn't even ask him.
We want him back. Yeah, we want that man back.
Yeah.
We want you back every time, bro. He's amazing.
Yeah. And it was a chat. Thank you, OG Tony. And the Lou, thank you for your questions. Those were very helpful for what we're creating, because community. And I know you both know exactly what I'm talking about, but that's what we're creating. In Your House wants to just build and build and build. This was a fantastic moment in my career of this house. I mean, I'm on heaven right now. Me and
I
Jesus
can feel your
just walking
energy, bro. I
around
love
like,
it.
like, that was awesome.
Yeah, man, he was great, man, and we appreciate the support from the Lou, from the amazing Kevin Calloway saying excellent interview. Thank you guys for digging in with us and having such an amazing interview. But guys, we got to keep this going because we have big news that we have to announce at the end of this episode. I'm excited about that. The energy's been high all week, ladies and gentlemen, within In Your House because of all the amazing things that we have to announce. We had the awesome Annie O'Neill coming in and showing a little bit of love. We appreciate that. She's putting on for the brand over there doing her thing. Thank you, OG Tony. We appreciate you, bro. And you know who else is doing a good job? I think WWE is doing a good job because SmackDown was really good, and we're gonna dig into it right now. I'm gonna go ahead and give it to my man who is pretty much in control of all things SmackDown wise when it comes to In Your House. Grun, what did you think of the debut of SmackDown on USA?
I thought it was very good. I am on the fence of not loving the new theme song for SmackDown. I get it, Megan Thee Stallion's a big star right now, or very big in music right now. But the song, like, I feel like they picked her because she has popularity, but I don't think the song fits. Like that, I don't think pro wrestling when I hear the song.
So is it the particular? Do you think that it was a different song that she did, that it might catch a different vibe?
So I am not a fan of Megan Thee Stallion. So let's make sure that we have that. I'm not a fan of that particular.
Okay, all right.
You're
just not gonna like
so
it.
It's like with all due respect, it could just be I'm like, no, I want Rise Up by Drowning Pool from the mid 2000s. Okay, like that could be the reality. That's a very big possibility that's reality. But I get it. Like, yeah, they're going for a younger crowd, like Tony said.
Exactly, yeah.
I think the younger crowd might need a better taste in music, but that's my own opinion.
Grunt is saying, "Get off my lawn, you kids!"
Oh God, I'm 30, and yeah, that's what I am.
Oh man. So okay, let me ask you this, Grunt. I want to ask you this. The new logo. What did you think about the new logo?
I think it's all right. Like I'm not crazy about it. I saw one like what it needs is the old SmackDown exclamation point at the end of it, and I'm like, you know what? I probably would feel better if I did see that. I'd probably be more fan. Yeah. Like now maybe that'll change in the new year. Maybe that's coming in the new year. Maybe not right now, but it's coming. Maybe, hopefully, because I always thought that was an awesome a stage when it was the one I grew up with. It's the one I was introduced to, and I thought it was an awesome stage entirely. As for what
the Lou's on the opposite end of you there, Grun.
He said he's okay with the theme, and he likes the logo. I thought the logo. I see. Here's the thing. I didn't expect the logo change. That really just hit me out of left field. I knew they were going to USA, but I didn't know they were going to have such a drastic shift in it. So voice, I want to bring you into the conversation, man. Were you expecting a change in the logo, the song, or whatnot, or did you think they were going to kind of bring what they had on Fox to USA? Did you see a big change like that, a big shift? Like basically, this felt like the beginning of a new era in the history of SmackDown. And I say that because they had so many in there: Vicky Guerrero, Teddy Long, Booker T, icons of SmackDown for the last 25 years, which they were celebrating 25 years of SmackDown. What are your thoughts, man? Go ahead and jump in here and give your thoughts.
I mean, honestly, for the 25th, I did expect some changes, but I didn't really expect the simplicity of the logo. I like how it looks crisp and clean, and it really
Yeah.
does look that. It's not spectacular like it has been in the past years, but the set, it was pretty nice. I liked all of that. I liked the main stage. I liked the entrance. Pyro's back, so we had some pyro. Always love pyro at a SmackDown. But we also have to think, when SmackDown was brought in and we were told we were getting SmackDown, it was a birth of a new era of WWE. It was they were bringing in more excitement, and I understand where you're coming from, Grun, on the theme song. Totally get that. But just think about this. We were an eyelash away from a Sexy Red theme song. If she would have kept up her volume in popularity, we could have been like, SmackDown, you smack my ass. Oh, you like that. Ooh, it could have been, it's probably not that good, but, it would have been something like that. But, so
you gotta leave her alone.
You know what? Sexy Red
funny.
actually made me a fan of hers over the time, just because I love how she just doesn't give a shit. She just wants to go out there and do what she does. And that you know what? Do it. Live your life. Who am I to say how to live your life? But I like what OG Tony was saying. They're going for the younger crowd. That's why they're going in the. And we all know WWE. If it's not working, they're going to flip the script and change it up. So it's not like. And honestly, I don't understand why they're not benefiting with AI. Why are they not just writing what they want to know, what they want to talk about with SmackDown? Hit the AI button, let it go. Then you're not paying anybody any type of royalties. You're saving money. There we go. I mean, I know that kills artists and things like that, but you know what? I like WWE, so I want them to continue.
Well, no, I think WWE may have the same opinion that I have about AI. Is that it's a good toy. It's good to be a toy. It is not going to be the thing that we need to replace musicians, to replace script writers, and no, it is a toy. That is all we're going to keep it as, because y'all seen Terminator, okay? And you're not going to convince me that there isn't one genius out there trying to figure out how to make Skynet right now.
Grun, we talked about those on Monday. You really need to quit telling my secrets. And I know you're doing it all covertly, oh, we don't know. There might be somebody out there. Grun, knock it off, okay? My AI army will take over.
Oh,
no,
my
God
God.
Damn it, Josh.
Oh, man. And guys, there's a lot to talk about in terms of that, and we've been doing those AI generated segments on Friday, and those have been really, really fun. Make sure you guys go back and check out that ECW watch along. That was another great episode, really fun. But guys, keeping it here with SmackDown, let's go ahead and dig into the actual show itself a little bit, because we started this one out hot with the cage match between WWE champion Cody Rhodes and the tribal chief Solo Sikoa. And I gotta say, this was a pretty good cage match. I enjoyed it. I know we're all still in the opinion that, my opinion is I see Solo getting better in ring as a wrestler, but I still don't see him as that main event guy. I just don't view him like that. It feels like he's, and trust me, this is no disrespect to Solo Sikoa, because I think that within time and with the right evolution, he can get there. It just feels like right now it's being pushed into my face that, this guy's the tribal chief. You should believe him as a viable threat for the WWE champion, and I just don't right now. So once again, I thought the match was good, but Voice, what was your thoughts about the opening bout, that cage match, Cody Rhodes and Solo Sikoa?
First off, it was shocking that that was the opening match. You know, you would expect those two names,
Yeah.
and then with the stipulation, that's going to be your main event, but it wasn't. So again, that's them, you know, throwing out the first pitch at the World Series, and they threw a perfect strike, and now they're asking, hey, can we get this contracted? But I loved it. I thought exactly what you're saying. Right now, I don't believe Solo. And I know that that's what they're going for. You're not supposed to believe it, but I don't believe within the believing of what they're trying to create. Now, if you want me to believe that, give me Jimmy in that role. Then now I'm believing. Now I'm buying into this whole story. So to me, it's like they're reaching very far to get that story across. But with the time, Solo is going to get a personality, and I think that's what's really missing, because right now it's like, it's almost, you can tell, you know, like when you're watching a sitcom and you can tell they're acting, like you're just not buying into it.
Yeah,
that's what I'm feeling with Solo. No disrespect to him at all, I'm not trying to say any of that, but you cannot put somebody of that caliber in that role and make it believable for everybody. I'm pretty sure there's some people out there who are completely against what I'm saying, and they're buying into the whole thing, and that's great. I'm glad that it's hitting for you, but it's not hitting for me. I just it's going to pan out because it's the Bloodline storyline, and they're going to make it work. And I love what they've done so far, and like we've talked about many times, we just buy what
On the roller coaster.
we buy what they're saying, because that's them. They're going to be able to pull it off, and we're going to be able to enjoy it as we should.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We're having a great conversation here about SmackDown, but of course, once again, voice, this is a season premiere of the house party. So we got all the team coming in here. We got Hypocrisy Jones coming in, and he's looking like he is just vacationing, bro. This man is on a vacation. What is up, bro? Dip on in here.
Yo, what's up, homie? I'm here. I'm at Indiana Beach with my family. It's my wife's birthday. Say hi, wife.
Happy birthday, Kim.
Happy birthday, Kim. Happy birthday,
I
Kim
just want to pop in
Berto.
real quick and just say that I love y'all and that I'm amped. Have we announced it today? Have we announced it yet? Can I talk about it?
Not yet.
Not yet?
We're not at the end of the show.
No,
End of the show.
no, I'll let you guys tell them. I'm so excited, though.
No, you wait. You gonna wait.
Yeah, you gotta wait, man.
That's what's up. Yo, I just want to pop in real quick, but great show, guys.
Awesome.
Hey, yeah,
Love
yes, man.
Jones.
We appreciate you sliding on through. Have a blast with the family. Happy birthday to Kim Bell, Kim Jones, Hype Jones, Kim Jones, whatever. You guys already know what it is. Happy birthday to her, Kim Berto, as he's out there having a great time with his family. But we're having a great time right here as we're discussing SmackDown, and we're going to stay with that cage match. Awesome episode that we've had, ladies and gentlemen. Grun, what are you thinking about that opening title match in the cage, bro?
I definitely think it was one of Solo's better matches, and I think you guys are hitting it on the head where Solo has not found his personality. He is kind of trying to step into Roman's personality, and it's just not working. It was never going to work. And on top of that, you've got Solo you've surrounded Solo with Tama Tonga and Tangaloa, who on their resume should be great wrestlers. Haven't really blown anyone out. Haven't really blown me out of the water yet with their in-ring ability. However, they bring in Jacob Fatu, who has a spotty record and is questionable. Well, we know that there are people that don't like him at all. However, when we see him in the ring, he commands the attention. When he is around, you're wondering, what is Jacob Fatu gonna do? What is he thinking? Because he just has that presence about him. He has that down, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see the same thing when Zilla Fatu eventually comes to the WWE. He's in Reality Wrestling right now, but I thought this was a very good match. to set up. And actually, the big thing that I want to point out here is that no one tried to get into the fucking steel cage. My review, I was like, dude, we are going to see some shenanigans with this, and Solo's gonna be like, oh, I was so close to winning. I deserve another title match. It's like, dog, you lost in a no DQ match and bitched about it, and now you've lost in a steel cage match where no one interfered.
Yeah.
So, how do you deserve a title match? You may want a tag team match, and because you win, if you win, that means jack shit. Because you have lost every title match against Cody 1-on-1. If you win, it's going to be because of Jacob Fatu,
who is now known as the Samoan Terminator.
Okay, Samoan Terminator. Good to know.
Wow. Well, that's what I'm going to call him. From
okay, I mean that's
There's
fair.
the Terminator.
Okay,
I mean,
I believe it. I'm scared.
I mean, he still doesn't even know his foot's broke.
I know.
Like he jumped from the cage and then did other things.
Yeah.
And like, dude, your foot is broke. It's broke. You
that
broke
guy,
it. Did it.
He said you broke it. No, it's crazy what that man can do. But what this led to was the return of the OTC, the only tribal chief, Roman Reigns, and he came and he had a presence, and he always has a presence anytime that he comes, man. So I feel like that, and I didn't verbalize it because I didn't think about it, but I was like, you know what? It makes perfect sense that if they're bringing SmackDown to USA, they're celebrating 25 years. It's a perfect opportunity to bring Roman back to the show, which they did, and they went through with. And yeah, I like the build of what's happening here. So, Voice, we're gonna stick with this a little bit, and then we'll move on to one of the next things on SmackDown. What are you thinking about this uneasy alliance that we're seeing between Roman Reigns and WWE Undisputed Champion Cody Rhodes?
It's given me a lot of Rock and Austin vibes.
What
we witnessed back in the day.
Yeah.
And I like it. I like the hesitantness of Cody coming and saying, I'm done with this. I don't want to be a part of this, which after that cage match, you could understand Cody not wanting to be a part of anything to do with the bloodline.
Yeah, for sure. He's tired of it.
I mean, they got the Samoan Wolverine coming out of nowhere, just terrorizing things. They got the black suited twins. One has a T on it, which I don't really understand. That they remind me of like a 70s comic, like twin duo. I don't know. I don't like their gimmick I don't like their outfit. I like the gimmick, but I wish they would like Grun alluded to. I wish the Tonglins would show us why they were picked over the rest to come up. Like their in-ring is not the best.
I want to jump on that real quick, and then I'm going to throw it back to you. I feel that too, and it's really crazy because you know who, like, if you know who they are in New Japan, the Gorillas of Destiny, you know what they're capable of, and it really feels like that hasn't been unleashed yet. So I just wanted to build on that and say, yeah, you guys aren't the only one who kind of feels like they've been just literally henchmen. They're like, yes, I understand they're tag team champions, and that's great, that's awesome, but like I can't think of a banger that the Gorillas of Destiny have put out in WWE right now, respectfully, of course, but I just wanted to add to that and say you guys aren't the only ones who are feeling that. I feel that too.
Good. I'm glad you see it, because you can give more insight onto that, because like honestly, we should be seeing them dominate the tag team division. And yes, I understand they should be the tag team champions, but show us why. The why is lost here. I don't know what it is. Maybe WWE's having a hard time figuring out how to place them so they don't look more dominant than Solo. I don't know. I'm not sure where that is. But
I think that
that's
could be
a weird spot to be right.
I think that's the problem right there. Is that Rikishi went online and he shared his 2 cents on his sons and said that Solo was going to be the best of the 3 of them. And look, Rikishi raised these boys. These are his biological sons. So I'm not going to pretend that he doesn't know his sons, or that he doesn't, or be stupid in thinking that he doesn't have ambitions for his sons, that he doesn't believe in his sons. A good father should believe in their children.
Yeah, but he's going to ball levels.
Yeah.
LeVar Ball,
yeah.
yup.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot go that route, because in the ring, though, no matter who you're talking about, they, at the end of the day, they are the ones responsible for their performance. I've heard it time and time again. You got 5 minutes on a camera, make it yours, kid. And if you don't, then you get lost in the shuffle. And I'm sorry, but right now, Solo feels like the child that was the firstborn, so he needs to be projected up into the front. And sometimes that firstborn child sucks.
Yeah.
They don't get it. And the second one coming up, he's better.
Yes.
Oh man, we have something from Kevin Calloway. If you could bring that up, read that if you could.
It does a disservice to someone to build them up that high before they are ready to be at that level. And I think that's exactly what we're saying right here.
Can we say that we saw the same thing with Roman Reigns? They tried to put him at a higher level than what he was originally ready for. Not that he didn't have in-ring ability, but we saw in that time when they were trying to use the big dog and you were trying to push him as a babyface, his promo skills were like, it's not that he couldn't cut a promo, it's that he couldn't cut a promo on main eventer level. He was maybe Ricochet level of promo skills at that time. He is 1,000 times better now, but at that time, like,
okay, I hear you, Grun, but let me ask you this. Did you see the progression with Roman quicker than you're seeing the progression with Solo in that specific aspect?
I would say yes. I would say he was also in a time that he was, not many people were given leeway. He was given more leeway than others. So you could see a little bit of the personality, even if he stuck to the script 9 times out of 10.
I got you. Gotcha. I like that.
Yeah.
We got Kevin chiming in.
Oh, yeah, Kevin. Yep.
Solo will probably get there. It's just too soon for the potential position. I totally get you, Kevin.
I think it was a while before we heard the Usos like really. I think it was a while before we saw the Usos really cut promos in WWE when they were tagged. Like we loved like their entrance when they were doing the Samoan War Dance. That was awesome, and they were always keep the face. Everything that they were doing was kept us enthralled in their presence and them being tag team champions up until they were ready to start cutting promos when they turned heel and went to SmackDown. Then we saw the best version. We saw that we're not even close to the best version of the Usos.
So maybe we do that with Solo. We're not close to the best version of Solo yet. He's still in his learning phase. But I mean, and like I'm gonna go with what Howse said, because like I said multiple times, I'm riding with what WWE does with this. I'm sitting back, I'm enjoying the amusement park. This was one of his best performances in a WWE ring. This is one of his best matches. And that can only show us that he's understanding he's got to grow, and he's understanding how to get to that level.
Okay.
Hey, a lot of great points that I'm hearing. I sometimes I just gotta sit back and let you guys have y'all's back and forth, just because you guys have built that chemistry, doing what you guys doing on Mondays, and I really enjoy it, man. And I'm really enjoying this episode here of In Your House, the season premiere. Big episode. Still got a big announcement to make, but I want to continue talking SmackDown just because I really appreciated this episode. And what I've been appreciating, fellas, is we're not really seeing match series like that in wrestling these days. And I really love the fact that one is being highlighted in the way that Carmelo Hayes and Andrade seem to be being highlighted. And voice, we've talked about this before. We discussed this match series. They had their 5th match. I love the fact that they're billing it as as Hayes versus Andrade 5. That's I love that. That's good stuff. Makes it feel big that these two men are wrestling each other again, and it just has built into a feud in such a way that we said it once again. We said it that fans in the future, even aspiring professional wrestlers in the future, are going to go back to this match series and say, yeah, I use that as study material. Yeah, I watched that. Yeah, that match series got me into wrestling. I truly do believe that it's going to be one of those sleepers that's like a deep cut that people are going to be referring to. I do believe that, but we're not talking about it years down the line. We're talking about it right now. Andrade reigns supreme in that match. What do you think about this match series, and what do you think about the match that they had?
They're doing everything I expected both of these men to do in this series. Again, like we've talked about multiple times, this is exactly what we need. We need a good feud that lasts 7 series. I think this is what we should have. We should have a best of 7, because that last match just proved that these two are willing to give everybody a show. There was a point in that match where everybody thought Andrade broke his shoulder and arm with that move he did off the barricade with Hayes. Like, Carmelo, I don't know how that young man is still moving with the way he takes landings, but he bounces right back. And like, these two guys are Teflon when it comes to it. And right now, both men need each other in this feud to push and show the WWE world what they are capable of. And I'm on my last thought on this. I'm 100% with you. This feud is going to be something that the future generations will be talking about, with how to build a match, how to build a feud, how to make a crowd pop for you after they. I mean, just think of all the stuff that everybody's seen before that match on Friday night, and they still went wild for that match. It was a spectacular match. It's been a spectacular series. It's really actually made me even a bigger Carmelo fan. I absolutely love what he's doing in the ring. I've always been an Andrade fan. I think the dude's a genius. The mask, the whole entrance, the whole thing. I just wish they would get. I don't know why, but my brain is stuck on this cartel son who's just running rampant. And I know someone talked to me about it in a Discord saying, oh, so you want him to do Santos's character. It's like, no, I mean, I get what you're saying there, but no, you have to go back to AEW and see what AEW was doing with Andrade, and then you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about.
What AEW was doing with Andrade was perfect. It was perfect for Andrade. And then they kind of we kind of don't want to do it anymore. We don't know. Yeah,
you're right, 100% on that. And what I don't understand is, if you're gonna go pick up Andrade, or even, well, let's use Naomi as the perfect example. Naomi she went to TNA and she did her thing. She kept doing her thing. When she came back to WWE, because they realized what they lost, she's still doing her thing. She's still doing exactly the character that she was doing when she went to TNA. Now, for some reason, they've changed up Andrade. They've changed up his demeanor and things like that. Yes, does he still come out with the mask? Does he come out in a suit and looking great? When he does an interview, does he still cut back and forth between English and Spanish and give you that dominant persona that he's built up? I mean, the dude just stands there and he looks like a traditional Mexican wrestler. Like, his chest is big. He's got the mask. He's just the way he looks. I'm not understanding why they're not giving him this thing that he had with AEW. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah,
It could
is.
be. It could be a waiting period.
I agree with that.
Maybe.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm sorry to interrupt. I agree with that. But once again, this is our season premiere. So we're the guests just keep on coming in. So we have our guy here who just debuted his podcast. That is Dear Pro Wrestling, and coming off of a defense of the Emerge World Heavyweight Champion. He's here to celebrate the season premiere with us. Paragon is here at In Your House. What is up, man?
Gotta hit that shoulder one time. Gotta hit that shoulder. I don't have the tape on me right now. Season there, we're doing the damn thing. So happy and love to see the growth and everything that's going on. We got so much stuff going on with the watch along, so much stuff going on with the reviews, so much stuff going on with Grun shaving his head so we can put that head tattoo on it. And so I love seeing everything. Yeah, Grun, it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
You got to get the 2,000 subs, guys.
And you know what? I don't even think we need to get the flames on it. I think we just need to get a skull hand that just grips his head. So that way, anytime he's talking back, he gets all do this, and he knows that someone's lock in. You know, that's what we need to do. But love y'all, love the growth that we're doing. And as we always say, you got to get on this bandwagon, get going, because the household we keep going strong. All right, y'all be easy.
Yeah, yes, we appreciate you, bro. Thank you for coming in. That is the world's most dangerous podcaster coming in and talking with us. And of course, we got Kevin. It's all in service of making sure Grun gets that head tattoo. Yes, Kevin, absolutely, man. This has been ladies and gentlemen, this is what you call a season premiere. Yeah. I'm really enjoying this episode, loving it. We've had everybody on the team coming in. It's just been an amazing episode, but we got to keep talking, man, because this was an amazing episode of SmackDown. And man, I voice, bro, what I've loved is seeing the names that we saw. And one of them that we got a chance to see Booker T and Sharmell. We got a chance to see Teddy Long, Vicky Guerrero, so many awesome ones. We got a chance to see the amazing RVD, and that was, bro, I was so stoked to see RVD, and it's because we've been talking about him a whole lot for like the last couple of months. He's been a topic of conversation for me and you, Voice, every single Friday. I mean, he's in the conversation in some kind of way because of what he meant to ECW, but like it was so awesome to see him on SmackDown, man. Like I want to ask both of you. I'm going to start with Grun here because I know he was making a point, but what was your thoughts on seeing all these legends on this very big episode of SmackDown?
I think it's a very good thing, especially when you look back at the careers and Vicky Guerrero, Teddy Long, Ron Simmons, you look at King Booker and Queen Sharmell, like these were like they may have not always existed in the best of times in WWE, but they were always big moments on SmackDown. They were always big parts of SmackDown. So they were, you could make the argument that they were the best parts of SmackDown when SmackDown or even just the WWE was not in a great place.
Yeah, no, I agree with that because I totally feel what you're saying because I was watching those years. I was watching those years of WWE where it was like, man, everything feels stagnated. Everything just feels like there's no evolution of new talent. You just keep rolling the same guys out there. It just felt stale, but like where there was that staleness, there was those special talents or those attention-seeking talents. Like all I can remember is, excuse me. Oh. I remember that most definitely. I remember her love affair with Edge that she had, which was crazy. I remember La Familia. I remember that. Teddy Long, oh, guess what? You gonna go one-on-one with the Undertaker. You know, you know what was coming when he brought that out. It was a great time. Or whether it was King Booker coming and just being that over-the-top character on SmackDown, or if it was Mr. Monday Night, and sometimes he'd be Mr. Friday Night, RVD. He would come through and he would do his thing. A rich legacy of SmackDown. We saw that as that was acknowledged by Triple H at the beginning of the show. And once again, this felt like a good episode. The timing was right for an episode like this. So now I want to stay with the match series that we were talking about a little bit, just because now Andrade seems to be focused on the United States Championship. It looks like he could be the next competitor for that championship. Voice, what's your thoughts, man? Everything that you've seen as far as SmackDown, and what are your thoughts on this pivot? It seems like your guy Andrade, who I know you've covered a good portion of his career for the last year or so. Now it seems like he's moving towards the United States Championship, which wouldn't be the first time in his career. But what are your thoughts?
Well, it's going to be his first championship run in this run that he's going in with the WWE, his second go around, if you will. I'm excited for it, actually. I really think, especially after the performance that he just put on with Melo, rewarding him and Melo in some way is beneficial to the brand itself and to the fans, because just you go off something like that with this series that he's had with Melo, and then now you're going to put him with LA Knight, who is definitely going to work you more in promos and things like that, storytelling. But once that match happens, I believe that these two are going to connect on a level that is going to be spectacular. People are going to remember why Andrade is Andrade, why he is a main eventer, why he is somebody to watch. If you haven't seen it in the Melo series, you're going to see it with this LA Knight match. And I think this is going to bring out the best of LA Knight. Now, am I saying Andrade is going to get the win? No, I'm not saying that at all. I don't think it's time for him to have a title. And plus, you got to build on LA Knight with that US title. I mean, it's got to. LA Knight's doing wonderful work so far with it, but you're just coming off of a Logan Paul run with it where he made it very heelish. So now that you're doing this babyface type thing, you're going to have to work 4 times as hard to get that over, as opposed to what Logan had to do. I mean, he just had to show up and people hated him. And which, I don't really not understand it. I do understand, but I just think that there's a lot of more work we could do with LA Knight, and I think it needs a title on that work, as opposed to Andrade needing a title to push his work.
Sure. Yeah. I think that Andrade is in an interesting lane right now. I really enjoy what he's doing, specifically with Carmelo Hayes, who Carmelo Hayes got called up to the main roster, and he has been somebody, and I believe this is something that we've talked about. I think I talked about it with Paragon months and months ago on an episode. Everything that he was geared for in NXT, he was geared to be a top guy. I mean, you can't tell me otherwise. He was a former NXT North American champion, a former NXT heavyweight champion. So he was geared to be that top guy. But now that he's on the main roster, it's kind of like you can't just push him into that situation right off the bat. He's got to work his way up through the card. And I think that what I really appreciate about what's happening with him is that they're not trying to fast track him too much. They're trying to keep him at a steady pace to where you're not like, this guy doesn't deserve to be here. What is Carmelo? Carmelo Hayes is already in the WWE Undisputed Championship title conversation. I don't believe it. Yeah. You've got to build him up and take that time. And I can appreciate the time that they're taking with Carmelo Hayes. Grun, what are your thoughts on Andrade pivoting towards the United States Championship? And do you think this is the last that we've seen of Andrade versus Andrade versus Carmelo Hayes?
I don't think so. I think going for the United States Championship is a good route to take. You've built him up. You give LA Knight a good competitor. Therefore, at Bad Blood, I think is when they might have the show, may not. They might have it the week of. I think they are in a position where they're trying to figure out how do they elevate Andrade while also not making Andrade seem like he's just another version of Santos Escobar, or Santos Escobar is just another version of Andrade. I think they're trying to tiptoe through this minefield very carefully because now it's been heavily prophesized that the Motor City Machine Guns are going to go to NXT, potentially going to be debuting in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Weeks on the CW premiere of NXT. That leaves now. If I remember correctly, the Lucha Bros, their contract should be up by October or end of October, I think, or end of this month. And I believe WWE.
I keep hearing that they're coming.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe WWE is going to throw the Lucha Bros onto NXT. I think that would be adding too many. Yeah, I think that would undermine the Motor City Machine Guns showing up at NXT, and it would undermine the tag team division that they are. I guess you could say rebuilding, sort of, where with Chase, you don't really know where they fit in the tag team division. Nathan Frazier and Axiom, they just got titles back. Heck, so I think the direction is have the Lucha Bros team up with Andrade. So the question is, how is that going to look? And I think they're trying to flesh that out, figure out what does that look like, and how does it make sense and not undermine Legado del Fantasma. I think, and I think in turn that will lead to Mello looking for allies, and I think we get to see a story in a year from now where Mello says, "I had to bury the hatchet with an old friend." People in the crowd who know his story from NXT are gonna get excited when they hear Trick Williams' music play and he debuts on SmackDown. And we see Mello and Williams back as a unit again. Now, they're probably gonna now they might bring in Cedric Alexander, they might bring in Ashante the Adonis for some more backup, but I think that is the direction they're gonna go with.
That's a big swing.
Okay,
it is.
That is no, but I don't. But I don't hate it though because like because I can't be the only one who listen. I'm a huge Trick Williams fan, but it feels realistic because I think it's gotten to a point where Trick Williams has pretty much done all he can do on NXT, and that conversation about okay, it's about time to bring him up. It's gonna come, and it's gonna come pretty soon. And I think that you're right in that wheelhouse as far as what to do. What do you do next with Trick Williams? If you're going to bring him to the main roster, what are you going to do to bring him up? Well, it makes sense to stay, within the storyline that maybe, they made up and decided that, you know what, I need a little backup. Then there you go. You have you basically have the Carmelo Hayes that we knew in NXT, and what made Carmelo Hayes so dangerous is yes, he could win a match by himself, but he was even more dangerous knowing that you had that element of Trick Williams around him. So like I think that can help elevate Carmelo Hayes on SmackDown to have basically the Diesel to his Shawn Michaels, basically, and that's exactly what that could possibly be now that I'm thinking about it. And yeah, I think it's an interesting situation to be in. Andrade, I do like the fact that he's in the U.S. title picture. don't think that he's going to take it off of LA Knight. I just don't. But once again, I really feel like that this episode of SmackDown has been a good one, or was a good one, most definitely. And so much things that are coming from it. Nia Jax is still our champion. Everything that she's bringing to the table. I'm enjoying everything that's going on. Like the women's division is once again just staying relevant with the champion there, Nia Jax. Then of course you have that addition there of Tiffany Stratton, Tiffy time. What's your thoughts on the movement? Because we talked about this before, as far as like the development of this women's division on SmackDown and how it wasn't on the level of the one on Monday Night Raw, but mainly just because things were kind of new and not really cementing. Now we're starting to see kind of the gel like harden a little bit, like the clay is hardening a little bit on this women's division over on SmackDown. What are your thoughts?
No, I'm loving what they're doing over in the women's division on SmackDown. The addition to having Nia Jax as your champion is fantastic because there's so many avenues you can run with her on storylines and everything. Yeah. And the one that they are sticking with is Tiffy time. Her friendship with Nia, I'm really liking this. I like what they are doing with both of these women. Because all it does is build both of them up, and anybody who gets around them is going to get built up. I believe we heard, correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody heard, but I believe Mi Chin suffered a concussion in her match.
I thought I heard that.
In which
I don't know. I remember watching. I remember watching that match, and she was looking for something under the ring. I was wondering, like, what is she looking for? There are Singapore canes or kendo sticks, and then she looked again, and she grabbed the kendo stick, and that had me concerned because the camera angle showed the kendo sticks clear as day. So I don't know
25 that they had set in there.
Yeah.
So she could. Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe she got clocked in the head with the suicide dive.
That's what they were saying, where she got her concussion.
Yeah.
But again, it's rumors. I heard it all.
Yeah.
I was looking at Twitter. Then the reason I bring that up is because with what you're talking about, Howse, with the clay hardening in the women's division, all that does is make all the other ones around them get better. And Mi Chin is an example of that. She's coming in, she's making her, like I've said a million times, I know the household's tired of hearing it, but she's taking her 5 minutes on camera and she's making it meaningful. And she's making people like me talk about her through her actions. And that is only to do because of the main storyline going in the women's division, because they're doing such high levels in that story. You want to be on those levels. So I'm a huge fan of what's happening. Tiffany Stratton and what she's doing with that briefcase is fantastic. Make it your own. Take that 5 minutes. Be what we want you to be. The fans will direct you in the right path to take. Not all fans, but the ones that are the loudest and the majority usually know where they want your character to go. So keep doing what they're doing with this division. It's only going to get better from here. There's so many more talents that are coming in and so many more that are there and shining. I mean, Naomi, for example, she's throwing her name out there now, and exactly what I said. She's going to be in the title hunt. Everybody needs to pay attention. And I said that at WrestleMania, and she's proving exactly what I said. And watch for her to snap on Bayley in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, no, I definitely, and we have been talking about that. That's something that I know we've driven home for a while. When me and you discuss about it, and that's the way that Naomi does her thing as far as how she puts herself in that title conversation. That's always a conversation that we've had. Now, I want to bring this to your guys' tables real quick and think about this. Going back to the storyline that we're seeing between Tiffany Stratton and the Women's World Heavyweight Champion and the Queen of the Ring, Nia Jax, I want to ask this. So, like, what if we really went long-term storytelling here? What if we really just went with it here? I don't think they'll do it, but this is just me just throwing stuff out there. What if it became a thing where Nia Jax has kept Tiffany in her pocket long enough? Because if you guys know that the Money in the Bank briefcase is only good for within the calendar year of the time that they won it. What if they actually push this thing and she tries to keep Tiffany under her pocket for a full year until it becomes a storyline that, hey, you've only got like 3 or 4 weeks left to cash this in. Are you going to do it? Is that, or are you going to let it expire to maintain your status with Nia Jax? I'm once again, I'm not saying it's something that they will do, but it's just something that I thought about.
I like it.
Grunt, what are your thoughts on that? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, because this will either push Nia Jax as an uber heel, because then, like, if that contract does expire and Tiffany never got the chance, Tiffany never cashed it in, now you have the wrestling community asking, well, did Nia Jax scare her into not cashing in? And if that's the case, like Nia can say, no, she was just being a great friend. It's like, Nia, if you were really her friend, you would have told her, we're going to have a match. We're going to have a match. I'm going to allow you to cash in, but it's going to be a scheduled cash in. You and I have a match. Yeah. Whoever wins. If you beat me, I will not hold it against you.
But I think that can play into both of what you're saying, because think about this, Grun. Say Tiffy on that scheduled day, that scheduled match, that scheduled moment, she doesn't even show up. And then she cashes in on the next week or at a PLE or something like that. Like within weeks of it expiring, all of what you guys are saying could work. And it could be really fantastic, because let's remember, leading up to that that specific match to get the briefcase, it was talked about that there hasn't been a woman yet to successfully cash in, and they talked about it right after Tiffany won it, but then they've been silent on that aspect of it. So I think they planted the seeds back then that this could be the first time on a women's division that it's not a successful cash in. And who better not to have that opponent against Nia?
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
It's a good thought. It's a good thought for sure, man. And it's something I personally would like to see. I think that'd be really cool. But man, you have Bayley in the mix there. Bayley is back. And I honestly thought Bayley was going to take a longer break than what she took. I want to add, were you guys surprised to see her come back so soon?
Yes.
I was, yes.
100%.
Yeah, me too. It's but I'm happy to have her back in the mix. And she
did the ding dong at the very beginning.
Yep.
You idiots.
I love her view on just entertaining the crowd and how she does it. It was fantastic.
Yeah. Unique most definitely. But we had SmackDown. We know the importance of SmackDown. Okay, let's talk about this segment right here. I want to talk about Ricky. I want to talk about Ricky, Kevin Owens' tag team partner.
Poor Ricky.
Hey man, you gotta think he was coming out there and he was like, oh yeah, this is the biggest opportunity of a lifetime, just to eat a stunner from Kevin Owens. What the hell, man?
Oh, dude. But tell me that if you weren't in Ricky's position, you wouldn't have signed up for that exact moment, knowing
I would have signed up. 100%. Absolutely.
and he took that stunner so perfectly. His flop, his everything. I mean, Ricky really pulled it out. I was in Scott Hewlett's chat watching his SmackDown. Go check that out. He's a part of Heated Shenanigans. You'll love what he does on a Friday night watch along. But that was my first question to his chat. I hope Ricky's okay. And it broke Scott live on camera. He had to take a step back and laugh. But yeah, Ricky did it. Ricky was paid to do what Ricky did, and thank God there's a Ricky out there doing he's doing that Al Snow work. Just go out there and do your job.
Yes, man. Yes, most definitely. So Randy Orton returns. We know that he's back on SmackDown now on this episode. What do you guys thinking? How much longer are we going to see this Kevin Owens and Randy Orton thing? Because it's been going on for a while. I'm not saying I hate it. I'm just saying for that little split second there when Kevin Owens was affiliated and going up against the likes of Cody Rhodes for the WWE Undisputed Championship, there was thoughts that maybe he might turn heel, and now it seems like they've went in a direction where that doesn't seem to be happening. Grant, I know you've been kind of keeping tabs on what's going on SmackDown. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on the lane with Kevin Owens and Randy Orton?
I think we could definitely see them split. I heard rumbles about maybe they're going to be the ones to dethrone the Tongans as tag team champions, which I think that could work in this current chessboard of SmackDown. I think that could definitely be a good play. And then you have them lose to like Street Profits, Pretty Deadly, maybe DIY regains the titles. Lose to someone that could really use the buff, the rise of being a champion. And during that, maybe it's Randy Orton has been talking about how, you know what, I know the sun's setting on my career, but I'm dead set on giving you guys the best I got. And it's the most babyface Orton we've ever seen. And Kevin decides that he's not happy that he finally got a tag team title. He finally got a championship again, and Randy got pinned. And he turns on Randy. I think the other part is definitely going to be what is Kevin Steen looking for in a new WWE contract, because I could see him, like, he seems to be at a place where he just wants to have fun and enjoy what he's doing. I don't think he cares about titles at this point in his career. I think he's happy just to go out there and do his thing. So I'm not 100% in any direction right now.
Gotcha. Voice, what are your thoughts?
I like what Grunt's saying. I think you can definitely get that way in the turn. But what's throwing me off is we have two of the most viperous wrestlers in this friendship together, and nobody's turned. So I mean, come on. This is like Tony Khan wearing an HBO Max hat and then giving an interview telling me, "Oh, we're not in any talks with them. I just went and found this nice new hat, even though I can afford a emerald hat made of gold and leprechaun tears. But I'm wearing this cheap ass Max hat that the fucking crew wears when they're setting up for a fucking show. So right now, I want the turn. When is the fucking I want them both to turn on each other at some moment, and I want that to happen because I personally think that these two are what we need in a friendship like this. Because what we have when Kevin Owens joined, we had him definitely go into he turned on Sammy when he came. That was his first thing.
Yeah.
They ended up just showing us the villainous of Kevin Owens day one.
Right.
Randy Orton, he's been turned. The only time that Randy Orton felt secure in his life in a ring is when he was with Evolution. And what the fuck did Evolution do to him when he won the title? They turned him down, made him exactly Grun. They made him go to the ground. So tell me there's going to be a turn without telling me there's going to be a turn with putting these guys in something together. I mean, there has to be there. And when do we get it? What in what form or fashion do we get it? Because I think it could be cool to have them as a tag title holders. They hold it. And if I'm going with a team that you named to give them a rub, honestly, I think you give it to Pretty Deadly. Because the reason I think you give it to Pretty Deadly is because it plays also in the women's division world. So now you're integrating everything together. So Pretty Deadly has the titles. You have Nia having the world title, the women's world title, and then you have Tiffany with the opportunity to get the world title. And so now everybody in that group can look at Tiffy and be like, well, you're not a champion. And so now you're getting the turn inside that group, and which all plays into exactly what we talked about with Nia and the contract cashing in and it expiring and things like that. So I think right there, that's where you get that. And then of course, Pretty Deadly drops it. I don't see them having it. If they were to have the titles, I don't see them having it for more than 1 to 2 PLEs. And then they drop it to either DIY or the Street Profits, which honestly, I think the Street Profits would benefit the most. And then out of all of that, the most exciting thing you have is you have the explosion between the friendship between Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. And it all started because of exactly what we were talking about. The little things that fracture a friendship, the little things that knowing that both of them are villains. They can play heel or they can play babyface all they want, but those are two fucking villains. I don't care.
It's here's what happens. Randy Orton and Kevin Owens walk into a bar, they each buy each other a drink. They sit there staring at the drink all night. No one takes a sip.
Because who poisoned it?
Yeah.
Who poisoned it?
Right.
Which one of us poisoned that drink?
That's a great point. That is a great point, guys. I mean, just a lot of implications there. And this SmackDown was a big one. And this episode's been big. Huge episode. We're about to break this huge news and call this a really great episode. But before we do that, a couple of things that I wanted to bring up. I don't know if you guys saw, I think it was in a backstage segment with Nick Aldis. There was a Wyatt logo in the background. I'm not sure if you guys caught that. I saw it on the internet. I saw it on one of the social medias. I saw it. It was behind him. And this is how it starts. Now, I remember months ago, before the Wyatts debuted, or maybe it was after the Wyatts debuted. It was after. We kind of discussed, hey, will they maybe go back and forth between shows? Now it seems like that's a conversation to be had again. I mean, it was just a logo in the back of a Nick Aldis interview. That was the backstage segment. That is, I thought it was interesting. Voice, can you see the Wyatt Six pivoting over to SmackDown?
Oh yeah. I mean, and there's your Supernatural. They're able to float between shows, show up whenever they want, and you can make that interesting. I think it needs to happen. Because then you can space them out and we get more of the Wyatts. We get more of this. We get more of Gacy. I kind of want to see more of Gacy. I really do. I'm really liking what he's doing in the ring. And Nikki, we need Sister Abigail out there. She's doing fantastic work. And honestly, I love SmackDown in the fact that SmackDown to me was built for the fun show. It was built. Yes. Yeah. Do they have main stories on there? Yes, of course they do. You have to. But it's built with all the fun characters. I mean, think about the Big Show. For as many years as he was on the SmackDown, You think of the Big Show. He was introduced to us through WCW. First night he wins the title off Hulk Hogan. He is considered the Giant's son. He is considered, that of Andre the Giant. So throughout his career, he's been that. But when he was on SmackDown, he was fun. He was coming out in costumes. He was dressing up. He was doing all these things that kind of made you go, wow, there's a different side to the Big Show, and I like it. And then they throw him in this remake of ECW, and let's not even relive that.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
But you kind of see what I'm saying. I hope. Even the Austin, when he went and he would be over on SmackDown, he was more of a fun character when he was over there. So that's why I appreciate SmackDown, because it gives me that old school fun, what a wrestling show can be and should be, because you're trying to entertain everybody. And just like Jack Vaughn brought up, you may look at him and see that he's specifically going for the older traditional Southern wrestling style, but he's not. That is part of it, but there's a more to Jack Vaughn. You just have to look, because he's putting it out there. And just like the SmackDown, you're having fun, you're doing all this stuff, but there is a seriousness to it because of, well, I don't know, the bloodline. They tend to be pretty fucking serious when they enter an arena. I've not really seen them cracking jokes since the Usos haven't been with them.
Yeah. Great point, man. I think with SmackDown, man, to build on that, I'm gonna make this reference and hopefully you understand where I'm going. SmackDown about 15 or 20 years ago felt like how NXT was 10 years ago. And the reason that I say that is because at that time, when that SmackDown that you were talking about, the fun, the more loose characters and stuff like that, at that time, Vince was more focused on Raw. At that time, he didn't really care about what was going on SmackDown. He would put all his focus on Raw. So SmackDown was the place where you're able to try things or experiment. I mean, we wouldn't have seen the Straight Edge Society on Raw. You're only going to see that on SmackDown because they were allowed to try some stuff.
Yeah.
You wouldn't see Edge and Vicky Guerrero's affair on Monday Night Raw. You'd see that on SmackDown because they're going to try some stuff there. You know what I'm saying? So that's exactly what it was. And I reference it to NXT because 10 years ago when NXT became what it is now, and we've seen what it's grown into, where we've seen stars like Kevin Owens come to prominence, and Finn Balor and Sami Zayn, and even Adrian Neville, we now know him as Pac. All those names that came out of, which was a very special time in NXT. It was able to be that because at that time Vince didn't care about what was happening in NXT. So that's why I make that reference, that you're able to have a more loose feel when you don't have a control freak trying to control and micromanage every little thing, and you're able to be creative. So that's what you had there at SmackDown at that time. And I agree with you. That's what SmackDown meant to me in terms of that. But Grun, your thoughts overall on SmackDown and that looseness feel? What do you feel a stark contrast between Raw and SmackDown, and what is it for you?
There definitely is a contrast between Raw and SmackDown. SmackDown, they are you can feel that it's kind of being used to develop up and coming stars, or I guess in the case of Austin Theory, an opportunity to rebuild himself without having to go down to NXT. Raw feels like it knows where it is. It knows if you're on Raw, you probably know who you are. Now, there are a few that might, Lyra Valkyrie, who might need more time figuring out who she is on Raw. But for the majority of the talent, they're figuring out who they are. The Creeds and Ivy Nile, they're finding their place with American Made. So and with SmackDown, you have Mello really developing as a main roster star. Not really any other term to use, but you see he's developing that. Andrade is reminding people of how great he is as an in-ring competitor, and it's only a matter of time before people learn how good he is at storytelling.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, great points, man. Great points. I love hearing it, man. It's once again, guys. I know you guys agree with me on this one. This has been a really big episode, big episode, man, and it's been awesome. We had an amazing guest with the veteran Jack Vaughn. We had every member of the team slide in, whether it be on chat, come on video, and come and show a little love to our huge season premiere episode here. It is awesome. SmackDown was awesome, man, and we're definitely going to continue that. As of course we have Grunt. He always covers SmackDown and does a great job doing that. But Voice, I think it might be time, man.
Hey, before it's that time, let me do this real quick. I just noticed this, fans. Household, we need your help. We are 3 followers away to becoming affiliate on Twitch. So for the IYA, you need to go to our Twitch, go to there, go get on there. We are 3 followers away. So if you know somebody, if you want to make a fake account, we don't give a shit.
We don't care. We don't care.
Get out there.
Which doesn't care.
We need 3 more. This is a big episode. You see the work we're putting in. This is all changing. Every episode, every show we have on this network is constantly evolving. We had a huge guest today, Jack Vaughn. We have a huge announcement that is like seconds away. As soon as I'm done rambling, I'm sure Howse is going to jump all over it. But like, honestly, guys, we are growing. We are practicing what we're preaching when we're talking about wrestling. We're putting in that work. So if you want to be helpful to us, go out there, find 3 people, get your grandma, get her phone, set her up a Twitch account.
Yes.
Exactly. So help us get there, and you will see exactly why that's going to pay off. Howse, it's all on your shoulders now, buddy.
Oh man, here we go, man. I am so excited for this. Oh my gosh. And you know what? It stinks. I mean, it doesn't stink because I know he's out there having a great time with his family, but I know hype is going to go crazy when we announce this. We're about to make this announcement here. And guys, this is concerning the live on location house party. What's happening? What are we doing? Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to announce that In Your House is going to be having a huge event November 30th, ladies and gentlemen. Survivor Series, one of the big 4 pay-per-views for WWE. It is going down. And we are going to do something that In Your House has never done before. We are picking a location. We have picked the location. We have set it up with the venue. We have set it up with the amazing owners there. Kokomo, Indiana, November 30th. In Your House, Survivor Series, War Games, live podcast, live music, independent pro wrestlers, wrestling costume contest, games, prizes, tons of prizes. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going down. We have amazing donating sponsors that have made this possible. Household Photography, Kim the Chemist, Wrestle Arts, the Heated Shenanigans Podcast, House of Heat Pro Wrestling, AWR, Outhouse Records, the Kokomo Press. This is going to be, ladies and gentlemen, over $1,000 in prizes to be raffled off. We're going to be doing a live podcast, man. I'm excited about this, Voice.
Oh yeah, you don't even know. This is going to be fun, fans. We hope you all come out there. It's going to be first come, first serve, because space is limited, but we need you all out there to experience what we do in a live aspect. There's going to be games. There's going to be fun. There's going to be a whole lot of insanity, and we want you to be a part of it, because In Your House is growing. We are becoming the monster we've talked about. We are on the heels of other people's podcasts out there. So just know that once all this hits, people are going to be going, how do we get IYH in our house? And we're going to be available because of this. This is awesome. This is fantastic. Howse, this was a great idea. Thank God we get to give our fans something to where they can come out and not only get prizes and stuff, but meet us, be a part of what we're building.
Yeah, absolutely. No, totally agree. Kevin Calloway saying the big one, party time, most definitely. Ladies and gentlemen, November 30th. It's going to be a massive event. I mean, and it's only $5. $5 admissions. That's going to be Kokomo, Indiana. Outhouse Records. The address is right there. And once again, we've got some great prizes that we're going to be giving away. Great sponsors. And we're going to be doing a live podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I know you guys out there, you guys listen to a lot of podcasts. I don't know if you've ever been a part of a live podcast experience before. So it's basically like going to a Q&A or even going to a concert where you're watching your favorite musicians play the songs and you guys are there to experience it and be a part of it. It's basically going and watching your favorite podcasters discuss the things that you would normally hear them discuss if you were listening to them in your ear. But what's great about this is that you guys don't have to leave a comment under a message board here, even though we do appreciate it and love that you guys do that. You guys could ask us one-on-one. You guys will be able to be there to give us a Q&A, and we will answer these questions, and we'll be there partying with you guys. This is a party, ladies and gentlemen. We are watching Survivor Series War Games with you guys out there in the household, Kokomo, Indiana. Big. I mean, look at all this stuff, man. Once again, live music, live podcast, independent wrestlers coming, and you guys can meet them. Wrestling costume contest, games, prizes. I mean, we're going to have live music out there. It's going to be amazing. The games are going to be great. We're going to be doing a little wrestling trivia. We're going to be doing a little bit of pro wrestling karaoke. Man, this is a heavy situation. Brought to you by In Your House, in collaboration with the Kokomo Press, in collaboration with Outhouse Records out there in Kokomo, Indiana. This is going to be really exciting. Grun, you see that news out there, man? What do you think about that, bro?
Dude, I'm thinking if I'm in the Kokomo, Indiana area, if I am within driving distance, a reasonable driving distance of this, I'm like, dude, you know what? I gotta save money. Unfortunately, I can't afford the $12, $13 subscription to watch it on Peacock. But you know what? I can afford this $5 admission to go have some fun. And you know what? Maybe I end up spending a little bit more than the $13. But you know what? This is a party. This is an event. And the world, I believe, is in a phase where we are loving live events again. We want to get out and meet people, interact. Even if you don't interact, you just want to be in that environment.
Sure.
So go out there, guys.
And if you like what Grun says or you don't like what Grun says, there will be a feature at this event where you can argue with Grun. He's got 3 recorded videos that we're going to be putting out there, and we're going to record you arguing back with Grun. So if you love what he says, if you don't love what he says, come out here, come to this event, and you're going to have a moment to where Grun's going to hear your argument right back, and we'll be playing those weeks out from the shows and just letting Grun, give his takes on things.
I love it. I absolutely love it. It's going to be awesome. And it's going to be great to have him interactive in this show in any kind of way. So that's going to be amazing. But I got to tell you, man, this event, it's going to be so big, man. It's going to be so fun. I'm really excited. This is, so I've put on shows before, but it's mainly been music shows. This is going to be the first show where we're going to be having something as cutting edge, because live podcasts are a thing. This is a thing that's happening right now.
Yes.
And I'm so, with all the progress that this podcast has made, here our season premiere and announcing this big news. This is one of the biggest things that we've ever done. One of the most cutting edge things that In Your House has ever done. And I'm so excited to be putting this massive event on, bro.
Yes, it's going to be awesome. Fans, you are definitely going to walk away from this going, I feel like I stole from them because of all the entertainment, all the fun that we're going to give you. And don't feel that way because we love doing it. This
Yes.
is going to be fantastic. To all our sponsors who believed in us when they just heard the idea, they haven't even seen the finished product. They just know that we are a group that is willing to do what we say. And when we say we're going to put on a house party, we're going to put on a house party. So come be a part of it. I'm going to be your game master for the night. So
Yes,
come
sir.
hang out and play some games. I want to give you prizes. I want to give you some of these things. I'm not telling you what the prizes are just yet, but some of these things I might try to steal. You know, I might wear a fake mustache, come in, you know, do something. I don't know. But yes, so be a part of it. It's going to be fun. You know, Annie O's talked about she's going to be there. Kevin's going to be there. Like we got a thing going on here, man. And we want you all to be a part of it and see the growth and make this something that we do more of.
Yes, man, absolutely. Once again, so proud of this team. I mean, I'm just proud of this team, man. I mean, the things that we've been able to do, having this amazing season premiere episode with great guests like the veteran Jack Vaughn. He came in and my God, so awesome, man. Just awesome. And we got stuff like this right here, the house party going down. This is going to be massive. This is just what you're going to get, ladies and gentlemen. And we're so happy to bring it to y'all because we know you guys are happy to have it and be a part of it. We can't wait. And with that being said, we got to call this a really great season premiere. We got to slide out of here and enjoy the rest of our Sundays, man. But before I do that, I got to give my guys the opportunity here to plug anything that they want to plug. And I got to give it to my man Grunmeister here, who does a great job on Fridays. I'll let him expand on that. Grun, this is your time. Plug anything that you want to plug, man.
You got to follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Grunmeister. That is where I do my Friday night streams, 7 p.m. Eastern. I talk about the previous week's SmackDown, and I talk about what is going to happen and what might happen on that night's SmackDown. On 7 p.m. Eastern, every time. Be there.
My man, Grunmeister doing an awesome job. But, you know, he also does a great job on Mondays, and that's just a perfect pivot to my man over here who does an awesome job on all the shows that he does here in your house. That is The Voice, Josh Joseph. Let them know where they can catch you at, bro.
Just like Howse talked to you about it, there's a little show I do on Mondays. It's called the Monday Preview, where me and the blue-eyed villain himself, the Grunmeister, we talk about Monday Night Raw and the things that has happened and the things we want to talk about. Those are usually 3 things followed by one thing that we call Grun's Talk, where Grun talks about one thing that he wants to talk about. And we have a special treat for you guys on Monday. You have to tune in Monday to see what it is, because it's going to cause a little bit of chaos in the bubble of IYH, but we need that every time you go out there and you watch Pauly Shore's Biodome. You know, there's a little trouble in the you know, so go out there, see that. And Window Liquors is a fun place to be. Come be yourself, because that's all we ever want you to be, because that's what I've created it for. And that IYH adopted it, and now it's like the guy they went and they found in the adoption center. They're like, I want that one. So they picked me. So I bring it, and it's fun. So Window Liquors is a fun place to be. Come join us there. You also got me on a Friday night ECW watch along with Howse, where I take Howse and we go back in time and we follow some ECW matches, which is about ready to change. You're going to start seeing the show. We're going to start building on the story. We're going to start showing you exactly why we loved ECW from back in the day. So be a part of that on Friday nights with me and Howse, where we go extreme with the ECW watch-alongs. And of course, you can always catch me on a Sunday house party where I get a little weird here. You know, people let me be myself. And we haven't determined if that's good or bad yet, but it's something. And that's all it takes in this life. Something, people. So just put your something out there and see what the world bites on, because it's a fantastic world. Just join it. Be a part of the IYH network. We love every bit of you guys who join us, our loyal fans out there. OG Tony. We have Kevin. You're a newer brother, but we love you just the same. And you got the Lou. We love you, Lou. Everything you're doing, we are huge supporters of you and everything. And just lastly, thank you, Jack Vaughn. If you hear this message, you truly made a mess up in my life become an actual like productive thing. So again, I can't thank you enough for giving us your time. I know exactly how busy you are. We've talked in emails, and just like when Bill Alfonso hugged me and said, you guys are doing it. Just for you to say that you want to be on our show again without us even asking, that was huge in my career, and I can't thank you enough. You are on the list. You are 300, and that is all on you, man, and what you do. So thank you again for being a part of what we're creating and just being a guest on our show.
Absolutely. Well said by the voice, Josh Joseph, man. Once again, I just got to say, this season premiere, it's been such a great joy, such a great episode. Awesome. I mean, just awesome guest in Jack Vaughn, somebody who I followed for so long, but now getting a chance to pick his brain and talk to him, that was absolutely amazing. The interaction that we've had with Annie O'Neill coming in and she celebrated with us. Hype came in, he celebrated with us. Paragon came in, he celebrated with us. And that's the beauty of what we do. It's all dedication. Like, think about it. Our other members were in jujitsu classes and whatnot, and on vacation with their families, and just coming off a championship, victories, and they're coming in and taking a little bit of second to be like, hey, we acknowledge that this was the season premiere and we want to show our love and support. We appreciate everything that they are doing. Annie is awesome. She puts on every single time that she, comes onto the show. It's just amazing energy. And man, she's out there doing amazing things herself. So follow what she's doing. Hype, been here for a long time, man. Been a part of this team for a long time. He's amazing. P came in and he brings that awesome aspect as far as he's still actively doing this, but still finding himself as a podcaster. And I think that he's grown a lot. We just have a great team. I love our team,
True.
with the addition of Grunmeister and now, Kevin Calloway coming into the fray, and we're going to be doing a lot more things with him. He's amazing, well-spoken. I'm excited with everything that this team has got going on, that we're pushing. And yeah, man, it's just great. And you guys already know where I'm going to be at, right here, making sure that this thing grows even bigger, doing everything I can to help the creators that work with me and on this, the voice, Josh Joseph, Grunmeister, Annie O'Neill, Hypocrisy Jones, and also Paragon, making sure to grow them into amazing, excellent podcasters. And I feel like that I'm doing what I need to do. Feel like I'm doing what I was put on this earth to do, and that's help people figure out who they are and grow that talent. And man, I really love it. Go ahead and follow our guy, Kevin Calloway, right down there on Twitch, Kevin Calloway Pro. We love everything that this guy is doing. But once again, guys, make sure that you tell everybody that you know about this big house party we're doing November 30th, Outhouse Records. That is going down over there in Kokomo, Indiana. Join our Discord. You see it down there, all kinds of ways. This is elevation, ladies and gentlemen. The In Your House Podcast Network is just growing. And you know what? You guys can hop on this bandwagon right now if you'd like to, but we can show you better than we can tell you, because we do just that amount of work that you guys can believe that when we say we're going to do something, we're absolutely going to do it. And that's exactly why you need to follow us and get on this house party that's going to be going on, because that's HOWSE, and the W stands for work. So for the voice, Josh Joseph, for the Grunmeister, for Divinely Designed Annie O'Neill, for Kevin Calloway, for, of course, Hypocrisy Jones, and the world's most dangerous podcaster paragon. I am Alacon, the Concept House, here to remind you to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to hop on this bandwagon. Get on or get gone, because the household is still going mighty strong. You guys have a great day and a great rest of your week. Peace.
Yeah. In your house with O'Con. Hey, O'Con in your house. Hollywood in your house. Hypocrisy's head in the clouds. Curating all kind of loud. Wrestling in front of the crowds. Paragon's holding it down. Anybody can get it. Josh Joseph standing on his decisions. He is the voice. There is no choice. We as them boys in your house making wrestling noise. Moving fast just like cruiserweight action. And your house is the perfect distraction. Bumpers in your ears when you in traction. Get this work with some wrestling action. Smoke.